What's up, everybody? If you saw the original listing for this stream, plans have changed in the last 10 minutes. Actually, we had planned on doing this stream, and then we moved it back, and then I kind of forgot. And then, since no one texted me today, I assumed they just weren't coming. But they were.
Yeah.
So anyways,
hey.
A lot of you guys have met Yanda before. Chris Yanda, mechanic at Dirty River Bikes. Been a mechanic for how long?
14 years.
14 years at various shops before Dirty River.
Yeah.
And then, it's my buddy Brian. He's never been on the stream before. I'm not even sure he's been in any of the videos, really. Because we haven't really been riding together since I've been doing YouTube, more bike stuff on YouTube. But we met through riding. And then you're actually who introduced us to Otis I think
Yeah,
you
Rats
brought 'em
Ride
out.
back in the day.
Yeah, but what, a few months before you opened Dirty River or something like that?
I think probably. I think I came out there with Woody and Ryan. Probably, yeah. I don't know, 6 months, something like that. He was still working with me at the machine shop then.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, you're a machinist? Is that what you?
Yeah, that's a good word for it, I guess.
Well, what word would you use that?
I feel like I'm not an engineer and I'm not a machinist. Somewhere in the middle, like super technical term, be like process engineer,
Yeah.
manufacturing engineer.
And the company makes industrial knives.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. That's but interesting, like guitar making tools, woodworking tools, stuff for cutting rubber, all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't know Otis because you guys worked there together. You guys have known each other for a long time, but then you worked at the same place.
So I started working. Otis was my boss at Eddie's in Stowe.
Oh, okay.
When I first got into like wrenching on bikes. He
So
was my
Eddie's
boss.
bike shop. You guys worked. That's how you met.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then I got into Alcon because his brother was the plant manager, and I wanted to make bike parts.
Oh, okay.
A bunch of years ago, and it took a while.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Brian is actually, I assume you designed on computer and we get into details.
Yep.
And then CNC'd a part that makes a SRAM transmission, so UDH derailleur hanger from a Salsa converts to explain, actually.
Yeah.
You explain.
So the Salsa frames have these bolt-on dropouts that bolt onto the frame. I brought some stuff. So this is that one. This one. Yep. This is an alternator dropouts. This bolts on to the frame, and they got all different versions that swing back and forth, so you can run single speed. This one has multiple holes, so you can put in party mode and stuff like that. But
short chain stays.
Short chain, yeah.
You don't know what party mode is.
But this one has just a hole for a regular derailleur, and so they came out with Axis, right, which you bolt on a regular one, and then SRAM came out with transmission, but you could only run it on a UDH compatible dropout. So that's some other standard.
That stands for Universal Derailleur Hanger.
Yeah.
Which is a standard they're trying to get adopted.
Like 5 years ago, they released UDH to the public. Said you can use the spec for free. Everybody was allowed to use it and integrate it on their bikes, but nobody really knew why because transmission was super secret.
Yeah.
So everyone was just like, okay. So a few manufacturers bit, a lot of smaller full suspension manufacturers, because the engineering was already done. They just copy and paste it, download it in, which is more like his department. And then probably a year before transmission really dropped, I think the secret kind of got slipped to a couple big manufacturers because people that were like, oh, I'm not touching UDH, Specialized and those companies magically had UDH bikes right before transmission came out. Yeah. So I think the secret kind of got let out to some big players.
It makes sense that they would tell their partners that, right? I mean, when DI2 comes out, there's already bike frames that have the right...
But UDH had already been around for almost 4 years.
And no one was messing with it.
I think
it was just low adoption. Not no one, but it wasn't huge.
So could you take UDH and put an insert in there to make it still...
Yeah, that was the thing. For those 4 years, you used a UDH hanger. So it fit in that UDH hole that transmission uses now, but it was a regular derailleur hanger that a SRAM, Shimano, Campy, any derailleur, it's the same standard.
It was a pretty long arc. SRAM really built to this.
Yeah, it was a long... they really played it off and I think the engineering just took longer than they wanted it to for transmission to really come to full fruition. But they built it up as we're sick of having any bike shop you've ever been in. There's a wheels manufacturing poster on the wall with 300 derailleur hanger designs on it, and you sit there and match up each one every time somebody breaks one. And their thing was, we're going to put the standard out there for free with all the engineering drawings, and anyone can integrate it, just to try and make a more universal... You go into a shop after you snap your hanger off and they have it because it's universal. That was their sales pitch initially. And then they're as if by magic, there's this completely unique drivetrain that only works with this super specialized part.
Yeah.
So when people get SRAM Access right now, or the one that like the one that they show everyone standing on. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
you could beat the shit out of it. Whatever.
That's the one. That's transmission.
Yeah, that's SRAM Transmission. So right now you have to buy. You could only put that on a frame that has
a UDH dropout.
Yeah. And how many, like, are most mountain bikes now like that, or are they not like that?
As of next year, yeah. Like, because it's coming up on a year. Most stuff has gone through revision.
But if you, like, walk through a bike shop, there's a ton of frames without it.
Yeah, so, like, Salsa, super low adoption. The only bike, when transmission dropped, the only bike that was UDH compatible in the entire QBP catalog was a Journeyer.
Oh,
like a gravel bike.
Yeah. Oh, wow, yeah.
That's
in the entire QBP catalog.
So people aren't going to buy a Journeyer and then put like in a
unless you're
drivetrain that's more expensive than the frame was on.
Well, they came
unless
out like
you're Otis. He did that.
He did do that. Yeah. That was the first. Yeah, that was.
I think we had him on with that bike, didn't we?
Yeah, and the thing with that is that drivetrain.
But he's a bike shop owner.
Isn't that drivetrain isn't even technically compatible with that bike.
But I mean, that is the whole impetus.
Which is the UDH thing.
Yeah.
Because that's not a boost bike, and transmission is strictly boost.
Yeah.
So like chain line issues and all that stuff are like something that turned out to not matter as much as the SRAM people on the phone said it did when we asked them. We're like, "Hey, will this work?" They're like, "No, that won't work." And yeah, it totally works.
Well, I think the idea was because even we'll go through the setup. We got the bike next to us and all that stuff. They got some real specific instructions on how to set it up, but it's not like setting up a derailleur with limit screws and different bottom bracket. Like, it's not a thing. They sell it as a kit, and the idea is you put it together, you set it up right, and then it's done. Like, you don't adjust. I mean, there's no tension to adjust. You can micro adjust between gears, but it's really just
and that's like super basic. Like, you do it on an app and you just push a button until it stops making noise and you're done.
Yeah, and that's like the reason. Like they basically what they did is they took the entire, like, all the variables and tolerances out of a drivetrain, and they put it into an axle standard. So all those tolerances they control, so you don't have to adjust anything, which is smart. But it takes a lot of massaging of the market to get them to do that.
Yeah. So when you buy like a pre-UDH, like a either Di2 or like SRAM Access before transmission. When you're setting it up, what's the difference? Because you don't limit screw that stuff, do you? Oh, you do.
Yeah. There's a top bottom one because
all that stuff adjusts almost exactly the same as a cable drivetrain. Like, so you have your limits top and bottom just like on a cable drivetrain, and your micro adjust affects every gear. So people don't quite understand how these systems work. Di2 had a thing where you could tune individual gears. It's gone in the updates because people just screwed it up. Because they're not smart enough for that. So micro adjust is every year across the board, exactly the same as cable tension is every year across the board. So it looks way different, but it's not way different. Like, micro adjust is just cable tension and limits are still limits. So the UDH transmission setup, no limits, because where the derailleur goes on is exactly the same on every single bike.
Yeah, and that's a way better explanation. What I was saying is basically they took the whole drivetrain thing and put it into an axle standard.
Yeah, and B tension. That's the other thing that on wide range drivetrains, B tension got super critical. Where it used to be like old school 2x3x drivetrains.
So like a hit 5.
You could turn that screw till it was bottomed out. It might move the derailleur like this much. It just didn't do anything. We're now on every, 11 speed and up, 1x, or even now all the 2x road stuff. The B tension screw actually does something, and that adjustment is pretty critical to get right. Transmission doesn't have that. So the chain...
Since the derailleur is already going to be at the same angle and the same width.
What they did is they did...
Chain length sets your B tension, essentially.
And they had that setup P2 which plays into it, doesn't it?
Yeah, so there's a setup. Basically, anybody that's ever worked on a SRAM... Basically 1x11 and up mountain drivetrain. It has a little button you push to lock the cage forward to take the wheel in and out. That button on the transmission comes out and it can be tuned in two positions, A or B, and we'll show you that when we do the little setup deal. But that basically you put all your stats about the bike, and we'll go through how to do a bike that's not in the app, because this is a made up bike with parts that didn't exist. And they have it all ready for you. If you buy a bike that's UDH, it's in the app. That's part of the deal. If you're going to use UDH, we're not going to charge you, but we want all the info about your bike.
And we're gonna say app like this is a complicated thing. You could easily do this on like a web browser. They just made it an app, so they could have all your stuff. It's not that complicated.
Yeah.
It's annoying that you have
It's
to
like
do it
literally drop down menus.
Yeah.
Like,
It does not need to be an app,
have
but
this.
it is. You know.
Yeah.
Well, you have to get it to the bike though, right?
I mean,
No, it's just telling you what you need to do for your install. So
Yeah.
Oh,
how
okay.
long you put all your info, like say you have a Yeti SB140, and so you put that in, it knows the chainstay length, so then by that you put in your whatever your chain ring is, that gives you your chain length. And your chain length is super critical on these bikes.
Yeah. And so they got like
So they tell you your exact chain length, your setup key position, which is that little button we were talking about. You just pop it out and flip it over. Like it's not. You got two options. So
Marty said he's gonna wait till hear what Russ from Pathless Pedal thinks about it. He's not gonna like it. He doesn't like anything electronic.
no,
He runs his bike friction. We're talking about the opposite here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this definitely is not for everyone. I
No,
just think it's interesting. Yeah.
I think though, I mean, the reason this is even that interesting is because this was really Otis was the impetus for this. Otis said, "Hey, I think that we could probably get these transmission derailleurs to work on these Salsa frames, but I can't. Nobody makes a dropout for it. You want to tackle it?" I'm like, "Yeah, we can do that." And so then it was just like a thing like, "Can we do that?" And then we made it, and it's sweet.
More like an engineering challenge to see if it
Yeah.
can be done. But
Yeah,
then some people might be interested in doing this to their bike.
Yeah, I mean, like
it's
on
more
that.
of
Like,
me and Otis really like Fargos.
I know we didn't even make that.
And I ride a Fargo, and Otis wants to build a Fargo, and I was like, I really want to put one of these on my bike. He's like, I still want to build a Fargo. Was his answer to that? I was like, all right, so let's figure out how to get these parts.
Yeah.
And then so we brought, Brian has been talking about doing this since like forever ago, because another person that Brian and I are like loosely connected through, because Brian and I knew each other before, but then again after. So somebody, somebody else that Otis also worked with at this machine shop was my friend Jesse, who like we went to college together and we were in each other's weddings. We're like super good friends. He also worked with Brian and Otis, and he's like, you should meet this guy Brian, he wants to build bike parts. Actually, he told me he wants to build frames. I'm like, oh, that's a bit of an undertaking.
Yeah, I didn't want to do
and
that.
then I met Brian, he's like, no.
Yeah, it's all
He's
the
like,
same.
I want to make like doodads and headsets.
I want to make I think the first part I made was I made my own crown or headset cup to run a tapered fork on this Cannondale. I had a single speed rigid. It was silly. It was all aluminum fork, 1.5" steer tube, rigid single speed Cannondale.
Oh, it's like a converted head shock bike.
I don't know. They just had like it was the same frame. They would have put a lefty on, but they had a 1.5" straight, like non-tapered 1.5".
Like a bad boy.
SL4.
Oh, that might have been pre-lefty. That might have been
No, because I had like a F2 with a lefty on it before that. It was in I worked at Eddie's when I got it.
Oh, okay.
But I needed to put like a tapered headset on it, and they had this giant, head tube. So I made that, and that was cool.
Oh yeah, they had like these weird straight bearing headsets that they ran on those.
We had an 1.5" steer on it. Yeah, it was
non-tapered bearings.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to make a little piece that could kind of convert it?
Yeah, I just took a bearing from whatever you'd run, like a Cane Creek on a taper, and then just made a cut for it.
Yeah, like a 52 millimeter bearing.
So have you done that a number of times with other parts, or?
I don't know. That was like I really haven't made that much. I don't think I really made that much bike stuff.
Well, that wasn't production. That was one-off.
Yeah, all this. Yeah, this
toy.
is definitely the first thing that someone's like, "Hey, you think we can make these and make them work and sell them?" And
we have the parts.
We do.
Yeah, and once you've got like the one that's done, then your CNC machine can make as many as you want, right?
Yeah. So this is. I actually brought a bunch of this stuff. So. Even though I get this is a 3D printed one there.
Okay. Yeah.
That was just set up to figure out if it would work. Did we get the shifts through? Basically, get the shift through the gears. Try to ride it immediately delaminated because it's
plastic.
It's plastic.
Yeah.
I think it's PLA or whatever. So, and then this is the prototype we've been running since last year. This was probably the second or third one off the machine. We were still working on the program and the program right. And that's the one we just pulled off. I've been running that. Been some races on it. People have been riding off road for a while. A bunch of people have had it. And then these are the production ones, which we anodized. Better tool path, like corners broken on them.
Yeah.
Just nicer looking. And so these are actually put out through Alcon, which is the company I work for. And one of the guys who owns it is super into riding bikes too. He was pumped on this project. Pumped on this project. So his sons raced it. They're like big, whatever that high school racing series is. Whatever. And they race mountain bikes and stuff. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But so right now, you can't make something like this that would work for every bike because every bike has different tolerances. So if you wanted to...
The biggest thing that Salsa has going that made this work is they have this giant dropout that bolts on with 2 bolts, so we can work with this whole thing. But a lot of the dropouts are these tiny little things, and you basically need at least a hole this big in your frame.
And it's like way offset.
Yeah, you can see like all. If you can see all
stock.
Yeah, so this is like a stock one. I don't know if you can show that up.
Yeah.
Next to this one, like look at all the offset we put in that part.
Wait, so are these the same angle?
Yeah, so
2 holes forward, yeah.
Yep. You can see like all the different steps in there.
Yeah.
So all that is just to get everything to line up. And that was there's a little on the back side of that too. You can see this little island with that bolt hole on it.
Oh yeah, that's to push it out even a little.
That island is to give you enough thread engagement to hold it on, but also to clear the 12th gear on the cassette and let the chain
that little 10-tooth claw.
Yeah. So like we got through a couple different prototypes and found out that it actually wouldn't shift that slick between, gear 11 and 12. So
because it would get hung up.
Yeah, it would actually get hung up if that wasn't like that relief wasn't cut there. And then if we thin the whole thing down on the bolts they give you, that thread pitch is like 2 threads. So change that too.
It's also nice how this DJI knows what we're doing.
It does. Thank you, DJI.
Like it gets like when something comes close to the camera, they're trying to show that. That's like pretty cool.
Yeah.
Peekaboo asked what CAD program you use.
SolidWorks. Yep, this is all done in SolidWorks. And then
big Tinkercad house.
So this was actually it was a combination of SolidWorks and then this is a standard Salsa alternator dropout. We have a CMM arm, which is a coordinate measurement machine, and we use this software called Point to CAD. So there's this arm that comes down, almost looks like the boom for your mic. This arm that comes down, and you can pick up a bunch of points on something, and it'll take those points and it'll put them right into SolidWorks. So the first task is to take, this is a Salsa alternator dropout, and I've made one and 3D printed it and made sure it worked to make sure we were on the right track. So we actually took this, and then we pulled, SRAM had their UDH standard model. It was a 3D model you could get. We pulled that in and blended them together, and that's how I actually made the dropout. So we took the Salsa alternator one, reverse engineered it, and then used the open source stuff from SRAM and melted it together, and that's how it came to be.
So you could technically do this for any any bike that has a bolt-on dropout.
Yeah, probably.
Just with the time and
yeah, probably,
energy.
Probably.
Yeah,
maybe. I mean,
it just depends on like offset.
Yeah,
and, like, how much clearance there is.
So even
that's a huge dropout. Whereas like
if
you're trying to deal with something.
Yeah, like most bikes, like especially like sliding rear dropouts.
Yeah.
Are like they're real long, but they're short.
I'm thinking like the All City frames. They have like that wouldn't do it.
Yeah, like all the All Cities with the like sliding dropouts. Like the only other thing I can think that might work would be like Surly MDS.
Mm-hmm.
They did a modular dropout systems, like big bolt-on, like beefy aluminum plates on like the old Instigators and stuff. I think they might have done a Pugsley MDS, and they did a Krampus Ops MDS.
But the biggest problem is how big this hole is, because
so
like a lot of frames,
a lot of material.
Yeah, a lot of frames, because like was it 12 millimeter axle on the back?
Yeah,
that's way bigger. That's a 20 millimeter hole, so you don't need 8 millimeters on the outside of a 12 millimeter axle. So
that hole is designed around the fact that most UDH bikes are bouncy on both ends.
Yeah,
and that's one of the pivots. Mm-hmm. So usually you're running a big bearing, and then it goes around.
Because of the rear suspension.
Exactly.
Okay.
So UDH was designed to be able to work on full suspension bikes that utilize the rear axle as one of the pivots.
And you figure it kind of makes sense. It's like pretty high tech. and most high-tech mountain bikes right now are full suspension, so it just kind of went together.
Yeah.
People are paying, I don't know how much that drivetrain is. When it first came out, it was like $2,000, $1,700.
Yeah, I mean, I think the GX one, you might be able to get into one for like $1,100 or something.
But that's a lot of money for
crank and all. Yeah, because it's
they brought that out later, like a lower end one to make it a little more
just
affordable.
like at the end of the same year. Actually, they brought it out quicker than anybody thought.
Would you?
Yeah, that's the XO, and it doesn't have like the magic pulley or any of that shit because there's like 2 or 3 versions of XO.
Would people? Can you run? Do people have this on? But people have it on hardtails too, right? Cause
if they're UDH.
We said the Fargo.
Yeah.
Fargo, I don't know why I said that like a Canadian.
I think Paragon put one out for their dropouts pretty recently.
Yeah, Paragon did.
But they have like those. A lot of those are like the 2-bolt slide ones, right? So they could just basically put like a whole thing.
Oh, I don't know that Paragon did one for their dropout, like for their modular ones.
I think that's what they did it for.
They did a titanium weld-in dropout.
So
it was UDH compatible.
I thought it was Paragon,
but they could have.
Yeah. But that was
they teased one on Instagram.
That was specific for like let's say you're building a frame, you want to put dropouts on it. Paragon has made dropouts so you can weld onto whatever custom frame you're making. Well, they made a new dropout that is a UDH dropout that you can run SRAM transmission on any UDH dropout. So if you make a custom frame with a UDH dropout on it and it's a hardtail, then you can run on there. But that's out there.
Yeah. Marty said these guys solved a problem I didn't know existed and still don't understand.
Okay.
Sorry about your luck, pal.
The really simple explanation is just that there's a SRAM product, but your bike needs a certain dropout for it. They've come up with a product that will make certain Salsas work.
Yeah, the point wasn't to adapt every bike. It's to adapt these bikes.
The only point was that there's a couple bike shop nerds in Akron that are like, I want to run this on my Salsa. Can we do that? And like, yeah, we can make a part do that. There's other than wanting to run really fancy stuff on your hardtail, there's...
Yeah. That's the problem they solved.
Yeah, the problem they solved is like, I want to run cool stuff
and
on
we're
my
going
bike.
to do an Alternator 1.0 version at some point.
Which would be like fat bikes and stuff like that would be cool.
Yeah, well, the Muckluck's 2.0. So...
Yeah, it is.
The old Muckluck's 1.0. The old aluminum Muckluck, all the carbon Mucklucks.
What's it called now? What's the new Muckluck called?
The Heyday.
Heyday, that's it.
Yeah. Heyday.
The bike formerly known as Muckluck.
Muckluck.
Well, all the 1.0s are Mucklucks because they were before the name change. But yeah, so that bike, aluminum bear grease is 2.0. Carbon bear grease is not.
Just too bad because I just bought one.
Yeah. Well,
sad for me.
We'll just drill holes. It'll be fine.
Yeah. That one's not going to fit too well in.
Fargo's 1.0. Timberjack is 2.0.
Yeah, we probably were...
Marrakesh, if you're feeling froggy.
You
put a transmission on your, 35-pound steel touring bike.
I mean, it's strong.
Options. We're here to deliver you options.
Shifting under load.
Oh, yeah, you could just load it down and just stand on the fucking pedals.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need a kickstand because you just drop your bike on your derailleur.
Can you use this on an e-bike?
100%. Yeah. Salsa makes
Otis.
a bunch of e-bikes.
All right. So this is
that's what I just said, Marrakesh.
Otis has been asking about the V1 for a minute because that's what he wants to run on, and that's what you need for your
my Fargo.
Yeah, and it's we're gonna do this first and see how people thought about it.
These are on the more modern mountain bikey type bikes where people might actually buy them.
And I think like a Timberjack that's a pretty. If you wanted to ride a hardtail and wanted a new bike, a new hardtail, you probably would get one of those, and that would make sense. You'd want something strong on it, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, the Timberjack's been around for long enough that enough people might have them, but not so long that it's a bike not worth upgrading anymore to put something on. It's really in the sweet spot.
They need to make it out of plastic. I want a plastic one.
Oh yeah.
Because right now it's
Salsa doesn't make new bikes unless they have motors.
All right, so they have the aluminum, which is what, $800?
For the frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a titanium one that's $2,300.
Yeah.
There's the gap in there.
Yeah, I mean, you probably do like $1,300 for a plastic one.
That'd be sweet. I'd do it.
Sure.
10 out of 10 would do it.
I had a question and now I've totally forgot what it was.
Sorry, we have a way of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What else should we talk about?
There was one thing I wanted to ask before we were on that topic.
Of plastic bikes?
Oh, apparently Racer is...
I was just picturing, do you know Alex House? He used to ride for EF, and then he's done the gravel racing and Tour Divide and all that stuff.
No idea.
Anyway,
Speaking a different language.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know who Cam McCall is?
Oh, yeah.
See?
Anyway, he put a picture of his bike with the SRAM transmission, like laying on the ground, derailleur side down. He's like, oh, this is my favorite thing about this is now that I take my pictures, like, not DSO anymore. And, like, he said people, like, went off on him, and he was like, it was a joke that was funny no matter what you said.
Yeah, right.
I wasn't serious, but of course,
DSO was never, DSO was never about the hanger. It just looks better.
I know, he just laid it down on that side. You know how bike nerds are. If you lay your bike down on your derailleur.
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I texted Tony as soon as he posted pictures of all their bikes from their tour piled in the back of a pickup truck yesterday. Said, who's going to have to straighten all those hangers? Me.
Yeah. I mean, there's no, to be fair, I would say that basically anytime my bike stops shifting right, that means I bent the hanger.
Yeah.
And like all the time. You could probably, every time a bike comes in, you could probably straighten it.
Yep.
Basically.
No, I have a bike the Raleigh, Otis's old Raleigh, it's integrated, and it doesn't have the strength anymore to stay completely straight. So it's always
part of the dropout?
Yeah, it's welded in. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I need to get it. I talked to a frame builder up in Ann Arbor who's actually from the Blazing Saddles, dude. Do you know him?
Gringo?
Yeah,
Gringo.
Yeah.
So he said he could do it. He said he thinks he would have a dropout that would work. So he cut it out and weld a new one in. But.
Nice. I think my buddy actually has one of his old motorcycles, and there is a hanger as like a washer for the chain tensioner on it. He had like a Sportster. Deep story, but
yeah.
That's funny. You would say something about him in Dropouts. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I don't know why anyone still makes integrated dropouts instead of replaceable ones.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, hangers.
Surly still does it.
That's
true.
I
know. Surly does on not everything.
The Karate Monkeys.
Almost everything.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, the Karate Monkey Wednesday Midnight Special.
Have you ever broken any of those straightening them?
Not straightening them, but AJ did rip one off on a straggler.
And so what do you do?
Cross check.
What do you do? You got to get a new bike, or?
Yeah, he had to get a new frame.
Yeah, didn't you try to weld it?
Yeah, so I tried to weld the Dropout back together as more of an experiment. I knew it wasn't going to work, but I was like, fuck it, somebody's got a frame they're going to let you light on fire. Let's go for it.
How do you, is there a way to make a Dropout for those?
I mean, you could, but a frame builder, like Tim's bike, the only reason it's worth it is because he really likes the bike. It has nothing to do with monetary.
No, I mean, like on a Surly, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but I'm saying the Surly frames aren't expensive. You just buy another one.
I mean, relatively, it's not like $20.
Yeah, but how much is a welder going to charge you to do?
I don't know. That's what I'm.
Well, I'm saying the alternative.
Well, I'm saying like if you.
Well, the alternative would be a replaceable hanger, like even All City does, or something like that. You know, or any other brand.
Yeah, they just so few of them break. Like AJ's is the only one that's broken while riding I've ever seen.
Because he was riding mountain bike.
No, he sucked a jacket into it while trying to change a jacket while riding.
Yeah,
twice.
That's tough, dude. So
twice, two completely separate occasions. It was straightened and ridden for multiple years.
He did beat the hell out of that
between
bike,
the second incident, and it was like $400 for another frame.
Well, I still got to assume. What do you? And I don't know because I haven't talked price yet. And I'm waiting.
I don't know. I'm always shocked.
I got to assume it's still cheaper to get a new Dropout welded on than to buy a new bike.
I'm always shocked at
because that to me it's like my Rally's not worth anything anymore, but it is to me. I've ridden 10,000 miles on it. I'd rather just keep riding that bike than buy a new bike. Single speed. You know what I mean?
So I'm always shocked at how little frame builders value their time when they price out something like that.
Well, so
because like if you were to call up,
I talked to Eva from Liberation Fab, and she pretty much said it's not worth my time.
Exactly.
Which is a totally fair answer.
She's on the short list of frame builders that value their time.
She's like, I would only do this. She's like, I do this kind of stuff for close friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
that's the only way it would make sense. Because like somebody who's not a frame builder but has the technical know-how to do that, like an aerospace welder, if they're going to do it in their home shop, they're going to charge you $150 an hour to weld it up.
But how long does it take to put a new Dropout in?
It'd be like 15 minutes of welding and about 2 days worth of fitting.
No way.
With lots of screwing around.
Um.
Because you're taking a Dropout, you're either cutting both of them off, and replacing them as a set, or you have to match one to the other one and then align the frame.
He thought he could match it.
Yeah. So again, it just depends on what you have.
Yeah.
So like if you have something that's going to line up with the dropout on the other side, and you're just welding one dropout on, then doing a frame alignment, it might take you a few hours.
Yeah.
So $300. Say he charges me $300. To me, that's worth it.
You could probably find a new frame like on eBay or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Same one. But that is.
But then that's $300, and you still have to repaint it.
Yeah, good point.
But only down like.
Some people are.
Well, that's a touch up though. I'm saying like an actual full repair.
Yeah.
Would either be like the rear triangle repainted, or the whole bike. So you're a cheap repaint would be like, we've got a guy who said he was going to do some stuff. He was saying like $400 for a single color. And the last
I was hoping just to have him clear whatever he did.
Okay, well you're going for the artistic vibe.
Well, just he's not going to be able to match the sparkly.
I mean, I think some people got
route.
expectations, you know, like
Yeah.
I guess that's probably what you're saying. Like if you're
I'm
car
saying like
fixer,
if
spray the whole door.
if somebody that isn't you brought that bike to me at the shop and said, find a frame builder to replace this dropout, and I want it repaired, I'm assuming they want it back the same way they gave it to me, which was covered in paint.
So you're thinking like $500 at least?
Probably $500-$600.
Yeah, and that's
painted.
Yeah, at that price, I probably could find a Tamland online somewhere with those.
Yeah.
Not a very popular bike, but something a Space Horse.
There's a whole spectrum in
They
there
sold a
too.
lot of
There's
this
like a
place.
whole
You probably
spectrum
found
of fixes in there. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that'll get you down the road, and then if and then a whole other way of making it as good as.
Yeah, if it's more of a, I just want to keep riding this bike because I like this bike.
Yeah.
You just got to find the guy that wants to do that same level on the other side of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to kind of blend the two. It's got to be mechanically good, but it'll be okay to be cosmetically not great.
Yeah.
That's a tough line.
And
Yeah,
some guy who
cosmetically,
also
I'm
like
not as worried about.
trusts the fact that you're not going to show up at his front door and be like, "Hey, this broke," when it was already basically fucked when you gave it to him.
Single speed. I don't live in Cleveland, Rusty. I live in
not-
Akron. We have hills here.
I'm about this $10 an inch. I want to know about that.
How does TIG welding work by the inch?
I don't know.
How long is the weld? But
Oh.
for small socket welds,
These aren't even an inch around.
yeah.
Yeah,
First of all,
These are like the
it's
narrowest
brazed.
tubes on the.
It's brazed, so it probably wouldn't even.
What is that frame brazed?
Actually, I was showing him a picture and he was telling me what he thought it was.
I think it's welded.
I think the ends of the dropouts are slotted and with a little,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it goes over it, and then it's brazed.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It could be TIG welded, but either way, yeah, like the $1 an inch, the $10 an inch TIG welding thing kind of comes from.
That's what I was getting at. I'm sorry. We started talking about real stuff. We got a real highbrow humor here.
And why don't we call it $5?
Okay.
Yeah. Round up.
Yeah, right. Setup fee.
Oh shit.
No, that $10 an inch thing in TIG welding is like if you're welding shit for a machine shop, they bring you parts that are clean, machined, ready to go. You're not doing prep work. That's what you're paying.
That's like how you quote the job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas like repair work's time and materials always, because you
Yeah.
got to clean all the paint off because you can't weld on shit that's got paint on it. And then.
But how far? You don't need to. You were saying rear triangle. You don't need to go all the way up the triangle to put a new dropout in.
But it's
No,
going to
I'm
get
saying
hot up there,
paint.
so it's
Yeah.
going to get,
I'm saying paint repair, not you're not sanding all the paint off. You might sand it off like 3 or 4 inches from the dropout.
Yeah. $30 or $40 worth if you were TIG welding.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say
Right.
30 to 50. On the quote, 60 to 90, but
That's funny.
you want breathing room.
So that's why this is better, because all that stuff we just talked about for the last 20 minutes doesn't matter.
happen.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that made more sense when there wasn't. I mean, that technology of like all the old road bikes with the hanger built into the dropout.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't like a lot more going on back then.
But there was also like a real short list of people that made dropouts then.
Good point.
That's true. They all were pretty similar.
Like you just
you look at
ordered.
the dropout on my Raleigh, it
You're
doesn't
like-
look like any other bike
Yeah.
I've looked at in the last.
But I mean, there was only there was just derailleurs.
But if it was-
it's simplified,
But like if it was a frame worth putting a replacement dropout on, it was probably a Campy dropout or
Yeah.
a Columbus dropout. Like there was a short list of places to
my
get
expensive old road bikes, or they're not expensive, my nicer ones, they're stamped with what they are.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
And the cheaper ones are just, that fucking sheet metal
I'm
stuff
wondering,
on
I bet back then, too, there were probably a lot more people that straightened frames and did work on frames.
Yeah.
When you could.
When
right?
when you
well,
like,
you'd replace tubes.
even when you Google stuff about old bikes and you get to these message boards and like the first thing is like take it to your local frame builder. And I remember when I started reading that when I was like getting vintage.
You're like,
Blue
who
Joes and
the
stuff, I'm like,
fuck's a frame
"Who's
builder?
my local frame builder?"
You just Google local frame builder.
Yeah, I was like, people have local frame build. No, I think it's true that was like way more common. There were just people who could do that kind of stuff and did do that kind of stuff. And now it's not,
or like brazed frames. Like if you crashed them, they would just heat up the lugs and cut the tube and slide it out and fit a new tube in there.
Yeah. And you could straighten them and stuff and all that.
And obviously there's way more like frame builder is coming back and there's way more brands, but that doesn't mean like I could just call up Adam Sklar and be like, oh, I have an old Raleigh, can you fix this?
No,
I mean,
that's true.
The guy's selling $5,000 custom frames or whatever, so
yeah, I would
quite the frame builder. I think that existed in the 70s and the 80s is not the frame builder that exists now.
I would agree with that. I mean, it's definitely
But
a very
also,
niche thing compared to all the like a lot of bikes people buy.
Yeah.
But you'd be super surprised too. Like we had like Groovy down in Worcester is a frame builder, and we had a guy bring in like a really cheap Raleigh steel fat bike, super cheap, like not worth fixing bike. Like I think this was like a 7 or 8 speed bike to begin with, not through axle. Like, it might have been $600 complete for the whole bike, and he had a little crack in the weld on the little bridge that goes between the seat stays. And Groovy fixed it for $100.
Yeah, I mean,
Cut a new part,
yeah,
put it in there. That's what the guy said. He said he charged him $100, which I believe. I mean, and for somebody like that who has the stuff laying around and it is a pretty simple part, the guy didn't care if it was painted or not. It was just rattle can black when he brought it back to us. So yeah, it's definitely possible. And like something like that, I wouldn't do it for a customer, but like I'll weld my own shit back together. I don't care. Or like, but like replacing a dropout, I just can't do that.
Yeah, somehow it's different when if still like it breaks under you, it's different.
I don't care if one of my bikes
Yeah.
breaks.
Yeah.
Like if I die, I die.
The one guy who first recommended Gringo from Blazing Saddles to me, I think I was at Black Fork, he was like, he has jigs and all that stuff still. And he was like, a lot of guys don't have that stuff who just like fix little things or do certain things on their own. He was like, so he could straighten the bike really easily. He has all the tooling to do it already. And I think that probably factors into...
Well, all frame builders are going to have fixtures.
Yeah. But I think with finding someone to re-weld something like that, the fact that that's what they do probably shortens their time.
Yeah.
Like the setup time is going to be way less than someone who's...
Yeah, well, and like that
I
brake...
could weld this on there for
And
you.
that brake bridge is one of those things like... It's not really changing the alignment of the frame. He's not lining it up to another dropout. Like, it's just a piece of metal bent like a horseshoe that needs to get welded in on either side, like, mostly well.
I mean, I feel like those are almost two different shops you're talking about, though. If you think about even what we do, we're not a job shop. We kind of are, but to run this part, we made like a custom work holding, like custom all that stuff. So it's not like you can just come in, hey, make me a dropout real quick. In the same way, you can be like, hey, just like fix my bike real quick. There are some shops that do that really well, and they got machines to do it. We're set up super specific to do production runs, and so if you came in, it's not like we have like a whole toolbox full of random stuff to make you your one-off thingamajiggy. You gotta find a shop to do it, and maybe there's less of those now. It sounds like there's less. There's like custom frame builders who are building their own frames, and then you got people who fix stuff.
Yeah. I think the fixed stuff is the smaller proportion of people.
Yeah, for sure.
Who used to exist.
Yep.
People got their bikes fixed like that.
I mean, you could argue.
People don't now.
You could
Plus,
argue
steel
even
bikes
like
went out of style for years, so.
Yeah, like the
so it's
whole
like
thing
coming
kind of went
back.
to that. But like even like I would say bike shops a lot. There's a lot of like part replacers, not mechanics.
Yeah.
It's the two different things.
I'd say almost all bike shops, with like few exceptions, are like they'll just give you a list of shit to replace when you bring your bike in to check out, like to get an estimate.
Mm-hmm.
Like most shops don't have a wheel builder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like it used to be every single shop, almost everybody in that shop built wheels. Because if the bikes were going to have wheels, you had to build them. Like in the 70s, bikes didn't come with built wheels sometimes. Like like complete bikes weren't really a thing. Like you had shop spec bikes, and like so a shop would order a size run of frames, a box of derailleurs, a box of cranks, and build up their specs.
Yeah, it's a different thing now.
How everything is complete.
Mm-hmm.
No, I following like Steel's real groups for like vintage road bikes and all that. Like everyone on there like builds their own wheels.
Mm-hmm.
They're all old timers. They all like learned all this stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas when would I ever learn to build a wheel?
No, you'd have to really want it.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
you do. You just choose to do something else.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's like so many things. It's like I like to ride bikes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I tinker with bikes in the winter. I ride bikes in the summer. And it's like I used to fix more of my stuff. I just got the housings and the cables redone. On the gunner, I took it to the bike shop, and I'm like spending $300 for the new cassette chain, all new cables and housings, and to walk out the door riding my bike is now more important to me.
So same exact thing. I just bought from Dirty River. I bought a Salsa bear grease, and it's sweet. And you know, I was talking to Otis about this build, and I said, "Is this ready to ride?" He's like, "Yeah." I came, picked it up, I put bottle cages on it, rode out the front door, and like went riding for my birthday. It was sweet.
Yeah.
And like I can certainly do that. I'm cool on that. I got other stuff to do. You know.
Yeah. And I like to tinker. I do it in the winter, like, and I used to do it on these live streams. I, mostly built that Marin with some help from. I always have them button it up. As
Yeah,
I
think it's sweet.
But yeah, I just like put the bikes together, and
Sometimes we button them up better than others.
Yeah.
A few drinkums.
Yeah.
The gunner, some stuff was loose.
Yeah. No, I mean I knew that. I knew I was going to get everything redone, so I wasn't going to bother messing with it. But yeah, making the Trek and Neo retro type build with 9-speed Shimano for on an 82 bike. It's like, oh, I'm going to figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
And now I'd rather just ride.
Yeah, I get it. There's only so much time in the day.
Yeah.
What are you making, buddy? Uh-huh.
A little Rumsey.
Uh-huh. Little Rumsey Proo.
This is a gift from Brad. Thanks, Brad.
What do you got?
It's a bamboo rum.
Bamboo.
Yep. It's really good.
You want one?
No. Stick to beer.
Good move.
Gotta be up early.
You're on the clock.
Yeah. You don't drink at all anymore?
I quit, yeah.
How long ago?
Probably like 3 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That's nice. That's nice for me.
Yeah.
No, for me, I wrangled a driver.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice for Yanda.
That's how it works.
Nice for Yanda.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Fixture and machine picks if you can, is what Otis said.
I have them on my phone. I don't know if there's a way. If there's like a.
Yeah, just hold your phone up.
Yeah, that's not
That's
gonna
how
work.
Otis sends us everything.
Yeah,
Just
I'm not
a
gonna
picture
do that.
of what could have been a screenshot.
Screen cap it.
Yeah, I do. I took a bunch of pictures of us machining them and mounting the prototype and all that stuff, but it's on my phone. That's not a good way to get that to you.
Oh, calking spokes is the best part of building wheels. What are you talking about? Just practice a lot. Super fun. Obviously, you have to use a calculator unless you want to do a bunch of trig for no reason, because there's a million calculators out there and they all work.
If you buy your spokes from the bike shop, they do it for you.
Sort of.
Well, wouldn't you do it for me?
Well, yeah. But you're my special friend.
Okay, I get it.
Also, I don't want you to return them.
Yeah. Can I do that?
No.
Oh.
No, if I order you custom spokes, they're yours.
I only take what's in stock.
Used bikes are saying that obviously having people work on your bike could be out of commission for a while, which is true, and that's why I used to like figure out how to do my own stuff. But that's also why I started owning more than one bike in the first place.
It's critical, yeah.
It'd be like Rat's Night, and I used to only ride the vintage like 10 speeds and stuff. But if I was tinkering with one and couldn't get it done in time, I grabbed the different one, and then
I'm sure everyone's seen that lineup on the wall
Yeah.
too, right? Everyone knows what that looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
I mean, with enough money, I can get basically anything done.
Yeah, but
basically any deadline.
Yeah. I think that I have this constant. I break everything. Everything I have, I'll use and break, and so I have to have like 3 or 4 of each thing.
Yeah.
And they just go through cycles of being broken, and 100% because I don't have time or money to fix them all the time.
Yeah, the last time I had a friend in town from Columbus, Dylan, who's usually up in the live streams. But I was riding the rally. We were riding crazy off-road stuff, picked up a stick, ripped the derailleur off, tried to set it single speed, couldn't get it to tension enough to get home on it. Had to get Aaron to pick me up. He was spending the night Aaron dropped me off. I grabbed the
episode?
Marin and went back out riding.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh, I'll meet you guys at the next spot. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like having something that even is less, you know, a little less capable, but still has wide enough tires that I could get back out there is, yeah, part of my.
Whoever this dude keeps on saying stuff about single speed, I think there's a place for that because that stuff always works.
Yeah.
And you know, there's you don't have to think about it. You basically just. Actually, I think that
this is semi-related. So no, 1.5 and 2.0 is not the same.
What is 1.5?
It's basically 1.0.
Oh.
But
Is it? So they have a couple different.
You know, grab a beer with you guys.
They have a couple different versions too. Some of them have different holes you have to select, and there's a slot. Is that the same version? Is it a different?
1.5 is a different plate, but it'll work in 1.0 as far as I understand it. Let me look this up.
Well, what is because they have the ones that have these different holes in them, like this, and they also have the one with the slot. Is that the same? Called the same, or is it just like a different part number of the same version?
Yes. Well, so these they make the 2-hole and the slotted. The 2-hole that is usually comes stock on all the bikes because it's way easier to get the left and right dropouts aligned to each other. So that's why these ones are all just 2 holes. Not that hole. These two holes. That sets your chainstay length. Then they make a slotted one for doing single speed, so you can tension it.
Which this one we made, you got to have it on the back hole because there isn't enough room on this front hole for all this to fit in there, all that to fit in there. So you have to run a longer chainstay on it.
1.5 is the plate on the frame, not the dropouts are the same. The frame is different. I just looked it up because I forgot.
So the plate that the dropout mounts to is different?
Yeah, there's a split in it, so it's belt drive compatible.
Oh, shoot, okay.
That's what it is.
That ship sailed, didn't it?
Fargo, no, they still make them.
I mean, but who, like, that's supposed to be, I remember when that came out.
Because of Pinion.
The Trek District, remember that? Was like
yeah, but those sucked.
I know, but like how many people went to a Gates Drive?
Well, Pinion kind of changed that.
Yeah, but like even when that came out, how many bikes did that? Like a couple commuter bikes? Really?
Yeah, they're not like super popular.
I know. Oh.
But there's some like
but
some people that have done.
What about like the Stash though, where they had the raised chainstay, so you didn't even have to use it, or whatever 1120 or whatever that bike packing thing was.
Oh, the wood smoke.
No.
Salsa did one.
Yeah, with like a high, like the drive side chainstay was high.
Yeah, where the chain went under it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gates is very relevant still, not popular, but it's out there. Okay.
The company sent me an e-bike with a Gates belt.
Yeah.
It's so awesome because it's a commuter e-bike. And for the people who would buy that, to not worry about that, because those are the people who aren't going to do maintenance on a bike anyway.
I know.
So
Well, it's fine. They're just...
We're all bike nerds, but for somebody who just wants to buy a bike to ride to work every day and back...
They're super annoying because they're really heavy.
Yeah, think about, you can take that...
I've worked on like 10 belt drive bikes in 14 years.
Yeah. And so like...
You're talking about Pinion with Gates or just Gates?
I'm talking Gates bikes in general.
Dude, and
like,
the same thing...
I can't tell because it's an e-bike.
The same thing goes for like any other drive system on like motorcycles. You have Harley and then everybody else uses chains.
And BMW uses shaft.
Right, and
you're a big shaft guy, right?
Big shaft guy, yeah.
big shaft guy.
Big shaft guy. Big shaft drive guy.
I've seen your big old K bike.
Yeah. It's our bike.
Oh, well, whose K bike did you?
Oh, you guys already answered that, didn't you?
It is. Where'd it go? Where'd I put that thing? It's actually, so it is. There's 2 holes here. If you bolt it into this front hole, it brings it.
I think Chris is talking about butt stuff.
Oh, butt stuff? Okay. Hole number 2. Hole 2. Hole 1.5.
I don't think... There was another comment that I couldn't tell if it was a joke or if it was serious. So maybe you guys could tell me if this is a joke. So you can put the D in whatever gear you need. Oh, it's gear. Okay. I didn't read gear. I just read so you can put the D in whatever when you get home.
Yeah.
I was like,
define the D.
Yeah.
What's that going to do for you on a bike that uses a battery to move the derailleur?
Can you manually push it and put it in a gear?
You could smack it so that the clutch ratchets.
Oh, okay. When it runs out of power, does it stay in one gear? That gear? Okay. If you take the battery out,
it should shift to not the hardest fucking gear automatically before it shuts itself off.
Is that what it does?
HFG.
Yeah. It's
That's
supposed
what
to do
transmission
that.
does?
That's what all axis does.
Oh, okay.
So, like, say you're hammering in the hardest gear, and it detects that the battery is dying, it will shift to not that gear, and then die. But batteries dying on axis.
Otis joke.
It was so bad I had to read it like 8 times.
Well, because he wasn't here to give you his whole. Huh?
How many times has Otis been on this?
4 or 5.
6 at least, right?
Yeah. Good for him.
6 to 9.
Yeah, 6 to 9 times. Good for you.
Yeah. Otis hits it off with these nerds.
Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah, I've done, 2?
These nerds.
This might be my 3rd.
Yeah, these nerds.
This is my 3rd. I heard a rumor you guys asked for me in the chat.
Yeah, they were saying they wouldn't mind seeing Yanda back.
Is that right?
Yeah. Well, I normally have a group ride on Tuesdays. I'm super fat right now, so I haven't been going.
Because you haven't been going.
It's a chicken and egg sort of thing. Like, difficult to say.
I figured you guys were riding tonight because turned out to be a really nice night.
Yeah, we rode here in the van.
Kenny's leading tonight.
Leaving what?
Kenny is leading.
Oh, why no Brad?
Brad's getting ready for your bikepacking trip.
Yeah,
It's Tuesday.
Oh well, they're leaving a day early.
Oh, they are leaving.
Are you guys going to
adventuring?
Finger Lakes.
Yeah. What's the plan for
people
that?
go missing in the Finger Lakes.
Do they?
Jesus fucking Christ! It's from The Office when Jim Carrey does a cameo.
Oh my
and he's
God!
interviewing.
You don't get one of Yanda's references. We're doing like Rochester to Syracuse across the Erie Canal Trail. And then dropping down and hitting Ithaca, Watkins Glen, and working our way through the lake. So the first day will be
doing a track day,
14 miles of flat.
Yeah. Are you guys doing like gravel stuff or?
It's a mix. So like there's a bikepacking.com route around Watkins Glen.
We did
so
that. I did that. It was nice.
That'll be our third day.
It was fun. It was good.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, you'll enjoy that.
You're gonna miss the Ice Wine Festival though. That was a couple months back.
It's an office joke.
No, just a Watkins Glen reference.
It's just an office reference.
No, they do a big Ice Wine Festival, Watkins Glen. My uncle goes every year.
Never knew.
Really? He's a big Opus guy, yeah. You're probably really into those, huh?
What?
Opus?
Oh, that is.
Little off-road campers.
No, all I can think of was Opeth when you said that.
I was
a
thinking
little this, a little that.
I was thinking of Mr. Howland's Opus.
And then I thought of Primus after that, which is probably my least favorite band ever.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not talking about small brass Japanese white gas stoves? Primus?
No, I'm not.
Thought you were like a big-time bikepacking guy.
No, I've only done it a couple times.
Oh,
You're
Brad going to
female.
be sneezing on people. We've told this story a bunch, but we were in Syracuse, and it's like, pandemic's still going on, I think, but we're vaccinated. And Brad turns and sneezes on this patio, and these people are walking by, and they were just like, ah!
He said, sorry, COVID.
Yeah.
Was that the year I had to drive him home because he had COVID?
No, that was that might.
Did you go pick him up?
Yeah, on one of their tours, they were in like bumfuck Egypt, Pennsylvania, and Brad just could not go any further.
Damn.
No,
Like
we were in Cumberland.
Oh.
Okay.
Doing that
whatever.
DC
It's
trip
all
or whatever?
basically
Yeah,
the
we were
same.
doing Gap and CNO.
Yeah.
And it was when the Paw Paw Tunnel was closed, so you had to go over the mountain. They made a huge tunnel to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, man, I'm not feeling well. And it's like, well, it's 90 degrees. We had to climb a mountain, whatever. And then we got to like the campsite, and he's like in his tent, not getting out. And we ran into Cumberland. We were just camping on the outskirts of Cumberland and got him a test, and in the morning he was positive. So he's sitting all alone at this picnic table as we all are like 20 feet away, like, see ya.
What was the night before
That's
when you
funny.
guys called me? And
It was 4th of July the night before, so there, like, Cumberland's like, all the fireworks are going off and stuff, and he's in there sweating.
Jeez, that sounds like that would suck.
Yeah.
yeah, and that was. You guys got lucky. It was like the only year in probably the last decade that I haven't been camping on 4th of July. And I had just gotten over COVID.
Yeah, that's
like,
why you were the only one who could
3
get
or
him,
4 days before.
'cause you could be in the car with him.
Yeah, well, I would have gone anyways. Fuck it.
Are you guys doing that Finger Lakes trip on 4th of July that weekend?
Yeah. It'll be towards the end of the trip this year. We'll be getting back to Rochester, I think, on the 4th of July.
You're leaving the weekend before?
Yeah, so we're leaving this Saturday morning.
Oh, nice.
But then we're going to spend the night in Rochester and hit the road
The fuck's a Gunnard?
I think it's a typo. It's the Gunner.
Yeah, I know what it is.
COVID.
He would have called us out for a mistake, too, so fair enough.
Yeah, I think we're going to go do Michaud State Forest in PA that weekend.
Michelle?
Mm-hmm. It's like west of Gettysburg.
Okay.
But I think the setup is you can camp wherever you want. It's really big. It's kind of like all the central PA stuff, like Bald Eagle Rock, Rothrock, that area. If you've ever been down there, central
Yeah, we're
PA.
supposed to go out there.
To what, that area?
Bald Eagle.
Yeah,
It's going to happen one of these days.
Is that near Central PA? Is that like near State
Let's go
College
for the fall.
Yeah, that is that area.
Okay.
Yep, State
So
College.
Let's do a
like,
false
around
color
there.
run out there.
Well, we were going to do it, and I think there was like 8 feet of snow or something like that.
Oh yeah, I looked on the trails website and everything was closed. Like the local club has a Facebook page, and they're like, "Do not go out here. We're not doing any rescues."
Dudes on like 40s getting stuck.
Yeah.
Hey, I had 31s. I was set.
What's the name of the place you were saying?
Michaud. So Micheaux.
MESHUGGA.
Michaud.
what?
EAUX, I think.
Big Meshuggah fan. Huge.
Maybe that's it. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever heard of Purple Lizard maps. You know what those are?
No.
Purple Lizard is this company out of State College, like that area, that put all of these maps together where there's a bunch of people who are super into hiking and bike packing and climbing and stuff, and they went out and they made these cool looking paper maps or nice laminated maps, all these areas, but put all these different points of interest and marked all the trails, so you can kind of just pick them up and go have a little adventure and have it not suck.
Wait, you mean you don't have a $400 Onyx subscription?
How what?
You don't have
Oh,
like
yeah, showing all these primitive campsites and
Yeah.
stuff.
You don't
So
have a
there are
$400
those,
year
and
Onyx
some of
off-road
those have
subscription?
like little shelters and stuff.
Like
But
Lean-to type things.
yeah, but there is, you can camp I think it's got to be within 200 feet of a road. If you basically can't drive into it, you can just camp wherever you want.
Nice.
So we're gonna check that out.
Probably enough space that it doesn't really matter.
It's big.
Yeah.
It's real
There's
big.
like not even any roads
I get that.
through there.
Yeah,
From time to
it's
time.
more than 3 inches.
Definitely. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Can't. Shit.
There was some guys that I got hooked up with through Dirt Fest, which was that mountain biking thing that Dirt Rag put on back in the day, that lived in Rothrock, which was outside of State College, and I've ridden down there a bunch, and they were real enough riding fat bikes. And me and Ben actually went down there and rode fat bikes in Greenwood Furnace.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I told you that dude is super cold. We thought I don't know. I had like a 40-degree bag with a liner, and it was like 5 degrees outside. Terrible time.
Are we gonna install this? We're just gonna roll.
Well, we're just gonna talk, dude.
No, you can do it.
I don't care. I'm fine.
We get it in the install. Let's do it.
Either way's fine. I go either way.
Yeah, we've been rambling, but
Otis told me to punch the derailleur after I install it.
Okay, we're gonna stand on it.
yeah, it's 10 o'clock. So now if you get mad and you start cussing like crazy, it'll be perfect.
Oh, fucking A, right.
Is that what it is? There's like a time limit on it?
It's a self-imposed.
It's a joke. There was a guy who commented and said, like, I listen to the live streams at work. Like, is it work safe? And this was during the pandemic, so I would just stand here and get completely shit-faced. And, like, so I'm like, I don't know, probably good till about 10 o'clock. And so then it's just become a rule, no swearing till 10 o'clock.
Sure.
You know?
It's like when South Park comes on.
Yeah, can't get into the heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Oh. Star Wars talking about.
Yeah, cool. Let's put parts on bicycles.
Yeah, let's do it. I want to see it.
Well, the parts are on there, but we can take them off and put them back on.
Alright, I'll stay here.
Yeah, whatever you like.
I'm on here.
You got a coaster. I don't want to mess up your fine fucking furniture over here.
I think you're going to be all
The
right.
MDF?
Here, I'll put it.
This
in
was a
here.
cage this was a like cage area for tools when I moved in here. The guy owned all the buildings and like all the buildings downtown Cuyahoga Falls. So this is like where it's like he locked up all the stuff. So I just
Okay.
ripped off the wall that was here and there. Let me see how this angle.
Oh yeah. Just stand directly in the way here.
Oh, we could do that. Yeah. I could do this so you could. This mic's on, right? So I can still. Hello. Yeah. Awesome. No.
They're just not set up.
I'm just. Well.
Okay.
It'll be good. It'll pick you up. Are you gonna assist him, Brian?
There's still one man show.
Can you turn that bike so?
Well, I'm just shifting it, and then I'm gonna move out of the way.
Yeah.
Like this. How do you want this?
Well, I was thinking.
Yeah, probably like that from the back.
Yeah. Are you able to then work from this? You know,
I can
little...
do
From the back. You know.
So this is that little button we were talking about. I don't know how well you can.
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, I can see it.
Well, there's tiny letters on it, but.
When Yanda's around, someone's getting wrenched.
Yeah, we played around with making the idea of making 2 dropouts, but found out that it would just line up. So he's used this. It's only 1 dropout.
Yeah, it's a stock non-drive.
Do we need to talk about the axle though? That's important.
Yeah.
This is kind of a thing we figured out.
This is not for this axle.
Wait, what does that mean?
So that's a fat bike axle.
Okay, so all
for this bike.
Yeah. So all SRAM UDH.
It's not the axle that comes with the frame.
Yeah.
All SRAM UDH setups are 12 by 1.0 thread. Regardless of how your bike came, it's 12 by 1.0.
But the standard thread pitch is
But this bike was 1.5, I believe.
That
stock.
Sounds right.
Could have been 1.75. Salsa has done all 3. They're super committed to a standard. So that's what this little spacer here, because this is not the right axle. This gives you the right overall.
Well, I would say
underhead length.
I would say not right is not the right word. So you need a longer axle to make this work, and there's options. 1, you can't use the axle that came with the frame. 1, it's not long enough.
It's the wrong thread pitch.
And 2, it's the wrong, so it'll mess up the derailleur.
Gotcha.
But we figured out what size axle you do need. The Robert Axle Project, they have one.
Do you have the part number? You saved it?
I did. I know my phone's over here. So you can do 2 things. You can either order the Robert Axle Project one.
Which we're going to get one and test it like next week, hopefully.
Yeah,
Otis, respond in the comments.
So it is, I don't know if you want, the Robert Axle Project part number is LIG626. Keep that in mind. But you can also use a Salsa fat bike axle with a 6mm spacer. That'll do it too.
Yeah. So if you want to download the SRAM Access app, it's free. You can type whatever shit you want in there and fiddle around, and it'll spit out numbers for you to figure out your setup.
Oh, let me switch that camera.
So
this is what the app is.
Yeah. So this is what the app looks like. You can have something stored on there. You see it just connected. It'll show you what you got. You can do fine tuning.
Your micro adjusting.
Micro adjusting. So it'll show you the battery status, whatever. But what we can, I don't know if we want to run through this on the phone, the actual setup of it. You want to do that? Is there a better way to do this? It's fine. It's kind of lame on a video camera on a phone, but
yeah.
So it was tools. So there's this thing that says chain length and setup key guide. So that is the first thing you do before, you can put the derailleur on the dropout, put your crank in and all that, but this chain comes like anything, you got to cut the chain for the frame. Like Yanda says, super critical, this is the right length. So if you go to bike brand, Salsa isn't in here because Salsa doesn't make any UDH bikes.
Yeah, because that's what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so I don't think anyone else has made one before. So my bike brand isn't listed. and then it'll ask for chainstay length. So Yanda and I did some testing on that. We measured the actual chainstay length, which is from the center of the bottom bracket to the center of the axle, and we found out it was, I don't remember what it was, 428 or something like that.
I have it saved. Let me look.
But
yeah, we
also
tested like 20 millimeters worth of variation and got the same answer.
So if you just go to I think every chainstay on these Timberjacks is the same length. If you just go to the website, it's 400 and I think it's actually 420 to 428. Not coincidence. So if you put 428 in, and then this is a 32 tooth. Hit calculate. It'll give you the setup key, which we'll go through in a minute, the chain length, which is the critical part, and then the setup cog, which is how, basically, it's kind of how you set the B tension is with the setup cog. But it, even like variation, that'll give you chainring size. It's not really. Yanda and I talked about this a bunch before we made it, how critical that stuff was, and it's just not. It's just like not as specific as anyone thought it would be. It's not super precise. There's variation in it,
Yeah, I mean, and that variation is basically this little piece right here that slides. That's how much adjustment you have as far as B tension variation.
Mm-hmm.
That's an integrated part of the derailleur.
Yeah, this doesn't come out. You can't change it.
Yeah, and so it's cool. It's knurled on the inside. So when you set it up and you clamp it down, it's instead of being a screw, it's like a knurled clamp that holds the B tension when the axle's all put together.
And
the drill.
This bushing here is like what it all rides on. So.
And that comes with the derailleur.
Yeah, this is part of the derailleur. So that's what this whole that's why this dimension's like pretty critical, and like this is like a super nice fit. Just like slides in perfect, and it's not like I can just pull it out with my finger. I don't have to like press it in there or anything. It's just like super good fit.
So even the way this was made, because everything rides off this axle, this whole thing was machined on one side and then located on that hole, and then everything else machined to that to get everything lined up, make sure stuff doesn't bind, make sure it shifts right. These are cool too. The guys that regrind the frame tools, like your facing tools and chasing tools at the bike shop, are the guys who made the
my bike shop, where I work, not every bike shop.
Yeah, at Dirty River, the bike shop is your bike shop. Made the tools we used to make this, which is really cool. So they ground the
JR's
tools.
Tool Crib.
Yep, in Springfield Lake.
Yeah, they're like 20 minutes away from the shop in Akron. But yeah, if you're Ohio, Akron-ish area, they're super cool. Mm-hmm. And if you need tools, like even drill bits, like weird drill bits, you just walk in there and ask them.
Yeah, they've been making us stuff for 40 years. John is the guy we work with, and one of his new guys designed this tool called the Illuminator, which is really sweet. And it's like a high-feed aluminum end mill. That's what we used to make that.
I do a lot of photography for machine shops, and that's where my only knowledge about even understanding CNC, because I need to understand what I'm photographing or making a video about sometimes to understand it. And I was asking the one guy, I'm like, are all cities like this? And he was like, no, it's kind of a unique legacy of Rust Belt, or, because like the auto industry, the tire industry, that all these machine shops had popped up to supply with niche parts for all these different companies. And growing up in a place like Akron, you assume everything is like that. And it's not. Like, this small manufacturing is actually something that's a little more unique, I guess. And like, and I don't know if your shop has it, but like some of the shops I worked in too, like 90% of stuff was being done on the computer and then like CNC'd. And I know there's different machines that do different things, and they're not all CNC machines, but all the different tooling. But then in the corner were these old things that like have been in there since like the 30s and 40s, and there was like one guy who knew how to run, and like there were some times when they needed somebody to stamp on a pedal. We got
his name's John Williams. Dude's been there for 45 years, and he's sweet. He got out of Vietnam and like went pretty much right to Akron. He's been there forever, and he can make a ton of stuff on super old machines. I never learned how to run them. I went like right to CNC stuff.
Yeah, super manual. Like,
And that's
So
gone.
that's what I'm building.
That's gone kind of
a
full.
shop at my house.
But we started putting
Only
robots
manual
on those.
stuff.
So those old machines
Oh,
have
you've now upgraded
they have
them
a
to
robot.
something
Yeah,
that can
yeah,
run.
they're pretty cool. It's cool.
That is cool.
It's
I need
real.
you guys to-
You have like a 1940 something lathe with a 2023 robot on it running. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, because I'm always fascinated by this kind of stuff, and like I think I could also do that kind of work because it's more. I just can't do like, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But I always found it interesting, and I'd be there with like my contact who hired me, who would be like the actual marketing guy, and then I'm like asking all these nerdy questions, and it's like, we need to get this.
Yeah, right. That's not the point.
Yeah,
right?
we're here to make a video about this or
Cool.
get photos. Like it's Hollywood, like, but yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of Akron. Was definitely rubber industry. That's Alcon started making stuff before that, but definitely making stuff to cut rubber and specifically treads, and then the bias, the stuff they put inside the tire to actually stiffen it. Made a lot of cutters for that. Bridgestone, Firestone, Goodyear. We're super into that. And there's a lot of tire mold shops here too.
Yeah.
A ton.
Just the fact that they're still doing like racing tire manufacturing in Akron, do you guys sell anything to Goodyear or Bridgestone?
There's some stuff. Yeah, it's pretty small. So much of that stuff's gone overseas.
Yeah.
A lot of it's China, Vietnam.
Like everything.
Yeah. But for, I don't know, that's changing too. It's kind of full circle. It's coming back.
Yeah. I just listened to the whole thing about why everything shut down during the pandemic and how a lot of the offshoring and the like only not carrying inventory anymore was just a way to enrich companies. And so when there was a time when you needed inventory, it didn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to ramp back up though. We're a couple decades behind, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Different combo.
Are we gonna put it back together now?
Yeah.
Where's that? Okay, so your timber slot at your house probably looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
With one of these jobbers and a fucking Sarah derailleur because you're trash.
No, it's the one that Clea.
Claris?
That's it.
That's road.
Oh. That's what mine had on.
Big Q's guy over here.
Q's, that's what
Huge.
it is.
Yeah.
Q's.
Q's actually doesn't suck as much as I thought it was going to.
I don't know. Russ, from Pazlo's Pedal is like coming around to what.
Yeah, like
you see that huge.
they really marketed it initially super fucking bad. They didn't explain enough about it, and like the Link Glide chain lasting way longer than the other stuff. They probably should have led with that.
Why is it 11 speed instead of 12 speed?
Price, because Q's is supposed to knock out like all of the mid to like top of mid tier.
12 speed stuff?
No.
It's everything below like.
So 9 speed, 10 speed, 11 speed. All of the componentry that used that was like commuter and mountain bike, not road bike shit, is basically being replaced by Q's.
And the promise is they're going to bring it to road. And so basically below 105, everything will become Q's too.
Okay.
So there won't be, you won't have whatever Claris.
So all of your derailleurs are the same cable pole.
Eventually road and mountain?
All the Q's.
Yeah.
If it says Q's on it, it's the same.
How long is SRAM doing that?
They haven't brought.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But SRAM also for a while, SRAM has divided their road and.
But now they're back.
Oh, now they're back.
Did they do that for a minute? Were they different cable poles?
Yeah.
For 12 speed, because there was no mechanical 12 speed.
Okay.
And 11 speed. But like 10 speed SRAM is all the same.
Can you run 10 speed chains on Q's?
It's all 11 speed.
Okay.
So it all uses Link Glide.
It's not to say you couldn't.
What does that mean? I don't know what that is.
So like Hyperglide, you've heard of Hyperglide. It's been around for forever.
Yeah.
The next iteration is Link Glide.
Okay.
A little bit different, like plate chamfering and shit, and the pins are supposed to be stiffer and stronger.
Sure.
It's supposed to simplify like across the board e-bike compatibility. Instead of this chain's e-bike compatible, this chain's not. Well, that's what the initial marketing said. I did find a Link Glide compatible chain that did not say e-bike, and then I found the next one that was $8 more was.
Was that
So they
was that from their catalog or QBP?
Their catalog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's straight from the Shimano. Which, if you want to actually find anything about Shimano, you gotta go to the Shimano EU website.
Dude, it's too much.
Because the US Shimano website is fucking useless.
That's too much. I feel like all of that is too much.
And even me with like a direct dealer portal login, I can type in a part number directly off of a part. It'll say no results. It doesn't exist according to Shimano. Like this right here, you can. This is, for those that don't know, a Shimano caliper. It says BRM675.
These are oldies, dude.
This is old. I bet you if I logged into Shimano right now and typed this in, they'd tell me this part didn't exist. But if I went to the public-facing Shimano.eu website, it would come up with a full parts diagram and everything.
Why?
Because Shimano America's trying to fuck us square in the ass.
It's got to be it.
Involuntarily. What else would explain why everything that they say is out of stock I can buy on Amazon? Like, oh, Shimano America doesn't have it? Jeff's got it. Good old Jeff B. Yeah. Oh, you needed a change? 2 years. 2-year lead time.
Yeah.
I actually saw a 2025 delivery date on a Shimano part on Amazon today. I was like, wait, what? Shimano's doing lead times on Amazon? No, it was a chainring for something. Like, we couldn't get one from Q or from Shimano or anybody. I was like, fuck it, let's see what Amazon's got. And it said, like, January 23rd, 2025. And I was like, what?
Dude, under promise, over deliver.
I was like, because, you know, in the little window on Amazon, it has, like, the, 2-day shipping, next day, whatever. It said January 23rd, 2025 delivery date. I was like, that's oddly specific for a 9-month lead time.
I know, it's on the boat, man.
It's on the boat. Yeah. So once you take that Acera derailleur off and you get your sweet Alcon part 10032222, you slap that bad boy on.
How did you come up with that catchy name?
I think that's your ISO certification or something.
Yeah, that must be what it is.
What'd you say?
It's the ISO cert.
It's an inventory number. It's like a SKU, basically.
Gotcha. Dude, you have it? Did you give this a name?
Bicycle part?
Bicycle.
No, I don't. This is like honestly pretty early on, man.
Yeah.
We
these like the heat shrink's still warm on that package.
Well, so the silver one, yeah. So like the silver one. This was on this bike since last year, but we just took it off the other day.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. We were running this one. We did a production run, and we did enough so that we could sell them to other people. But it's still pretty young. I don't know. We'll call it something cool. We do have. I don't even know how we're doing distribution on these yet. Honestly.
Through Dirty River, I would assume, right?
Yeah, through Dirty River. We might. I don't know if we're gonna sell them direct or not, too, but.
How many?
We really have to get like
how many do you think you'll run? Because this is super niche.
We got 50 of them right now.
50.
Yeah, we did a run of 50. That made sense. Yeah. I think just like scaling it so that if they sold, that would make sense. We had to do the setup and all that. Well, I have no idea, dude. We have no idea.
Once we get the axle, if we're gonna get one of those axles, Otis.
Yeah, I might need to buy it myself on Amazon.
We're gonna get one of those axles super soon. Ideally, Otis.
You test it. Give me the part number again. That's part number.
And test it. And once we're sure that axle works and we can give everyone a part number, say, hey, you need this, and you run. Yeah. Then it'll be way easier to be like, this is the shit you need.
But this also works. Where's that Salsa axle that came out of it?
Oh, right here.
Does that have the length on it?
Yeah, everything's written on it.
So this...
Let me get a towel, because it's got grease on it.
Here, right here.
So I think that spacer is a Robert Axle Project spacer.
Stock spacer. But they come on axles. Yeah, so this is a 188 1.0 thread, 13 millimeter thread length.
And so I think that other one is a little bit longer and maybe will give you a little bit more thread engagement, but that thing, that's not a problem.
And this would work. This is a available part.
And the install is pretty clean. It's got a spacer
from Salsa, yeah.
Yeah.
But getting that spacer might be difficult for the general public. And if we have to, we could make a bunch of these spacers.
Yeah, we definitely could.
I can make these on my little lathe that's totally manual. But if I had to, I'd make a bunch of them if you guys wanted them. But you guys run friction shifters and shit, so you probably are just
kind of beyond that.
You're just like pointing and laughing right now. It's really mostly what's going on. Like these fucking guys are charging batteries over here.
Well, it's the kind of thing I always say. It's like, just because I like things a certain way, I've definitely, like the first time I put a bike with STI shifters on it, I think I had a New Year's party and Ryan Berge was like, you're not going to want to go back to your friction shifting bikes. And he was pretty much right.
Yeah.
Like I run indexed on everything now. And I mean, not like I didn't grow up on an index bike. I mean, that Trek is 2001 and that was
that your original bike?
I mean, like I had bikes before that, but that's the bike that I bought with my own money and rode everywhere. And I was never a cyclist. I didn't know what people rode. I rode that
4,000, what is that? 4,300?
4,900.
Oh.
And it had a rock shock on it.
Yeah.
Even when I started riding with the Rats, that's all I rode. Like I just put smoother tires on it.
I remember that. I was there for that.
And then I remember like Otis, when he opened the shop, he was like, I could put a rigid fork on here. Someone like pushed the fork and they're like, this thing has been shot for years.
Yeah.
There was no oil or anything in there or grease. It was just like a broken coil rattling around in there. Like it returned to about 50% of travel.
That's how I run all my stuff.
Yeah.
So once again, this is the torque wrench that you want.
Who makes that?
Gustaforza. Well, Gustaforza is the model. Effetto Morposa who makes
Is it heavy? Then it's expensive.
It's expensive.
Jurassic Park.
It's about 300
Make
shots.
office references.
It's heavy and it's expensive. So this here top bolt.
Not critical, by the way.
Anyways, I'm just saying, like, for like bike nerd stuff, I'm interested in all of it, even if I'm not going to run it.
Yeah.
Like, I like watching pro racing, so I care about pro racing bikes.
Says he's a bike nerd.
But I have
Doesn't
zero
love the
desire
torque
to
wrench.
ever own one.
Unreal.
Like, I don't care about
It's fun. I mean, I have this bike. This is a test bike that everyone at Alcon have been loaning it out and stuff. But I had access on my Yeti, so I rode that for a while. And then I've had all different levels of SRAM and Shimano, and they're all, I don't care.
You make stuff work. I ran the Rally with 9-speed when I first got it.
Yeah.
It's a bike that actually came higher spec than the way I built it
And
up.
it probably rode everywhere you wanted to go.
Yeah, it did. And it's better. I'm like, when I put 11-speed on it, I'm like, oh yeah, these shifters do work better. They feel better. Like the shifting's more, it's just better.
I would say that the GX stuff, that 12-speed Eagle GX stuff,
Cable.
when that came out, was like for that price just so solid.
Yeah.
Stuff's so good. That is noticeably different if you've ever ridden that for that amount of money.
He doesn't ride Devil's Drivetrain, otherwise known as one by.
Well, that Schwinn Peloton you were talking about has 9-speed derailleurs on it. Those brakes are as good as any mechanical disc.
Yeah, it's real, you know.
Well, it's the biggest rotor in the world. It's the whole goddamn wheel.
But also, the shifting of even 9-speed derailleurs is like butter.
Yeah.
Like,
well, there's only 9 years. It ought to be pretty good.
Yeah, but like 9-speed, there's a lot of 9-speed back then. It didn't shift that good.
No.
Like whatever 105 was, that wasn't that tight.
And it still shifts.
Was it
smoother than my 11-speed 105?
I mean, I rode a Sora bike in the 9-speed days.
That stuff wasn't that good either.
Mine was because it was
Did you have a
dialed
triple?
in.
3x9?
No, 2.
Oh, well,
that
problem.
Trek has 3x9 105. They're from what bike? Oh, it's from this bike originally. Otis's brother's Trek 1500.
How did you ride that a bunch?
I rode that for a while.
Yeah,
that is a harsh ride.
It is, but dude, those bikes, that was a sweet first road bike.
It climbs.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're used to like vintage bikes that it's aluminum with a carbon wrap fork, it's just so stiff. I mean, like it beats you up, but when you're climbing, it feels.
What
so
year
fast.
is that?
20. Is that 2009? I think 2009.
Dude, I've never sold.
I had I probably had like a 2008 Cannondale CAD 9. It was the same thing. It was an aluminum frame with a carbon fork, and that's
Snow Klein
with 23 tires on it.
This maxed out at 28.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I just don't want. That's why I stopped. I put it on the trainer.
Top bolt.
I originally took the group set and just put it on the vintage bike, and then I built this back up to throw it on the trainer. But yeah.
8 Newton pickles.
Ted Nugent pickles.
Yep. Bottom bolt. 10 Newton pickles.
It's a little what for?
Dialed in. No big deal. Wind this bad
So you
boy back.
anodized them all black then?
Yeah.
So the prototype was the silver machine.
The anodizer anodized them all black.
Well, we requested it.
Yeah. When you run a company, you don't have to explain every.
Well, they don't have in-house anodizing. It was sent out.
Yeah, no, we're not like Shop Yanda over here.
Yeah.
Okay, well...
If you had a shop, it would have to be Shop Yanda. It's like the European version.
Yeah.
Yanda Made. It's Yanda Made. It's on Instagram. Follow me.
All he does is titanium anodized bottle cages.
I think we have a command for you that links to your...
Is it my public Instagram?
I put the one you want on there. Okay. The one you don't post anything to.
Hey, I think I just posted something to there.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it works.
Nice.
It's your favorite cranky bike mechanic.
Well, I didn't post these, but I will show you a picture of them. Let me find
Was
them.
it your in-house anodizing?
It is.
Did you get to that King Cage thinger yet?
No, I just got those. Are you kidding me?
I know. But
What is this?
Just some titanium stuff.
Yeah, what is that thing called?
Titanium many things cage.
Many things cage.
Anything.
Many things.
Anything.
Oh, there's a
I think
many-
It's made by King Cage, so it's called Many Things, not Anything, because he's not trying to get sued.
By Salsa?
Yeah.
Who makes the anything?
Salsa.
Salsa.
Many Things is made by King Cage. It's titanium.
I feel like you could still see someone over there.
You can do what you want.
Salsa's, I would say, like, as far as, like, pretty chill people, Salsa ranks pretty high as far as, like, medium-sized companies with a reasonable amount of IP. I'd say, like, Salsa ranks pretty high as chill people.
Are whiskey and
They're all
salsa
like
the same
QVP.
company?
Yeah,
Well, they're all
same
QVP,
company.
yeah.
Okay.
But not the same company.
They are the
Same dudes in different
company.
office?
Different dudes in different offices, but in the same building. There's a paper wall between them.
That's like...
I feel like QVP has become pretty...
Oh, yeah. So how do I send this to your... So this is some titanium stuff that I anodized at my house. So if you want your titanium shit anodized, hit me up on Instagram.
It's $100 an inch.
How much an inch?
Fitzwater viewers.
That's how we measure
Fitzwater
cost
viewer.
on this channel.
Fitzwater viewer special, $69 an inch.
Dollars?
You know, if anybody messages me at all, I'll do 69 cents an inch. Fuck it.
I'm going to do little inch bits. I'm just going to send you a bunch of cutoffs.
It's just fucking socks full of pennies.
I'm going to bring in my bottle cage bolts.
I like this.
Oh, we have a great time on the stream. Then you got your insert here. Let's get back in tight here, guys.
Yeah, that's right.
So you got your insert. It goes in there.
He's also the producer, apparently.
Do not grease this.
Why not?
Camera two? Do not grease this?
Do not grease this.
Why? We're talking about greasing through axles. What's this part here?
So this is not a through axle.
Oh, okay.
This is the UDH hanger insert.
What happens if you grease it?
Apparently, this is a hotly debated topic on the Facebook.
Greasing
Mechanic.
always is. No, seriously.
No, you're not wrong. Otis overgreases without exception.
Is this like a dry fit torque spec? Is it that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
People are snapping these things in half.
So it has nothing to do with the lubrication. It has everything to do with over torquing.
Well, the problem is then you have to know what your torque spec is for a lubricated part.
Half grunt, dude.
Okay. Well, it's printed 35 Newton meters directly on the part. So apparently the ones that are for the actual derailleur for the transmission, people are not breaking. The ones for the UDH hanger to put your SRAM derailleur on, those are what people are breaking.
Full transparency, when you took this apart, it was finger tight. So
it was 35 Newton meters. You witnessed it yesterday when we did the dry run.
When I brought it to you, it was finger tight.
Yeah, when he brought it to me.
It was 3.5.
When he brought it to me so we could do a dry run on this, I did not assemble this for the record. It was finger tight just right.
Yeah, 3.5 Newton meters.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I don't have any torque wrenches here, so everything built
First
here
of all, I brought a torque wrench, but I forgot the sockets for it, so.
Wow. What are we going to do?
Well, luckily I've got a highly calibrated. No, I'm going to take the whole thing apart and retorque everything.
I do everything in newbie meters.
Oh.
Yeah, so then you slip this bad boy on there once you've got your camera 2. Once you got that bad boy on
Hey,
there.
Dave, what are you doing over there? Could you beer me?
Can you mix drinks, or how does it know?
Bartender.
I'd like a coffee, please.
My skills
You just get this bad boy started, and you're gonna want to leave it a little bit loose.
Can you?
This is critical.
Can you show the back of that?
Dimitri wants to know if you can convert that to freedom units.
Freedom units.
He's from Canada too.
Oh.
Yeah. So bikes are metric. Fuck off. Yeah. People ask me like all the time. Well, what's that in inches? The fuck, I don't know. It's 28.6 goddamn millimeters. That's what it is.
Oh, so you're a commie.
I understand. Yeah.
Oh,
Can't you
100%.
tell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing this in.
This is wait. So what was my nickname at the Christmas party? Do we want to put that on the internet? I think we leave it off.
Yeah, I think.
It wasn't communism, that's for sure.
Just shorten up on your tool. That's what he said. Yeah. And then how far back you are on the wrench.
Oh yeah, you just got to choke up. It's like putting.
Yeah.
It's like putting.
Yeah. So you just get that in there loose.
Dimitri's enjoying the metric stuff. Like I said, he's from Canada.
Of course. It's metric light up there.
Metric light?
Metric light.
They're full metric, aren't they?
It depends.
I know the time is metric time. It's different.
Yeah. It's colder.
It's colder. All the temperatures are way off.
Yeah.
Things slow down when they're cold.
So does time, actually.
That's why it's different up there.
So that's Justin. So then everything loose. Just put this in there.
Is that red band on there? Is that the setup cog?
Well, it's what's normally the setup cog. It could be on either side of that red band.
So I see the red band. Is that that's a UDH cassette thing? What is that?
Transmission cassette, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll show you on here.
So there's transmission specific.
Is this still on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
transmission specific cassette, chain,
So the
and
reason
chain rings.
the reason
They're
that's
not interchangeable.
the reason that's important is this setup cogs. We were talking about the B tension, which is how far this derailleur is cocked back.
Yeah.
Depending on the setup, when you tighten the derailleur down, you need to be either in the 6th or 7th cog, and those red bands are 6th and 7th gear. And so it helps you find it more quickly. That's the only reason they're colored. There isn't anything else for it, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's like nothing special about
Well,
that
they're only
part.
colored for that. It's only in there so it's quieter.
Okay.
It's like a rubber noise dampener. SRAM's been putting them in cassettes.
But they put them
forever.
there for setup.
But it's red and in that location so you can find the setup cog. That's the only purpose of the color.
Are there any more rubber bits in there? They always put them there.
No, it's just that. Well, but it's like, it's not just there. There's like the little arms and then it goes back to the back of the cassette on the inside.
The rubber bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's got that.
Ah,
Mhm.
Chinese finger. I know it.
Yeah. So,
If this is on the test, we are all left.
it's on the test and you are fucked. This little button here, SRAM's video says to use a screwdriver, but I'm really strong, so I just took it out.
Oh wait, the button just comes out?
Only on transmission, not
Yeah,
on, yeah. So you'll see, and are we on camera too? Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see how this is offset, it's oblong,
Yeah.
and then there's this little notch right here. That notch needs to be lined up with whatever the app tells you. So for us, it's A.
That's actually a setup tool, and they integrated it into this stuff. It's, pretty clever, but it's just for the setup.
Yeah, so that clicks in, the little notch lines up with the A. You can't see it, but more importantly, I can.
Yeah.
So you push it down. So all the way locked, like wheel removal position is there. And
When you push it forward, it automatically locks like that?
No, you have to push the button in.
Okay. Oh, it's sliding
Yeah,
in.
yeah, and then when you push it, then it automatically unlocks because this is spring-loaded out. So this is the cage lock position that's been on derailleur since, like, Eagle, or not pre-Eagle, X01, 1x11. But they made the button part of the setup tool. So you unlock it, and then there's another little notch down here. You push the button in until it locks.
Actually sets the angle of that cage.
So that angle there, that's why there's two different little orientations. Yeah. And it can be like double verified because A and B is printed on the cage and on the parallelogram link that the button sits in. So the notch lines up there, and then the edge of the cage also lines up with an A or a B.
And this isn't specific to the part. This is just how you set up.
This is just how you set the derailleur.
This is transmission specific, but not part specific.
Yeah, this is now we've got your part made it so this goes on here, but now everything is how you would set up every.
Yeah.
Every transmission. Do you have it in the right gear right now?
Yeah.
What's not on this front pulley?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You have to rotate it around a couple times.
Oh yeah, to make sure it's timed right. Nailed it.
Sounds broken.
Yeah, did you break a spoke doing this?
We're going to do wheel building tonight. Yeah.
Next, we'll show you how to
rebuild
a wheel after you.
We'll do a wheel building calc video.
That would that would be if you did an entire episode or live stream of him building wheels. Do you know how bad that would be? It's terrible.
Oh no, the idea was we're just going to wheel where we just talk about it for the comments.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. So the problem is what he's doing I only build wheels while watching a movie that I've already seen and The Office and Reels on my phone.
Three screens at
all
once?
three at the same time while I'm building wheels. Otherwise, it can't be done.
Dude, I can't do it in silence.
Nope.
Complete
I can't
silence.
do it.
Michigan biker said, "Don't forget to hawk 2 of the threads."
If anyone brings that up again for the rest of the stream, you'll be blocked for a minimum of 5 streams. I'm so fucking sick of it.
I'm not, because the algorithm doesn't serve it to me. You're sick of it because you consumed a lot of it.
I'm sick of it because someone
keeps serving it.
Keeps sending them to me.
Well, your wife is trying to give you a hint.
So when you set this up, you just take it and crank it back.
Yeah.
You basically just pull it back tight. And
yes, you pull this tight, snugs up, and then there's 2 little dash marks right here. Camera 2.
We can't see.
Well, I'm pointing to them. Here, I have a great idea.
No, well,
this is a terrible idea.
No, this is
snugging it up. Just explain it.
Well, yeah. So you snug it up, and then there's.
Your camera, it'll focus that close.
Yeah. And there's 2 little lines. You see the line on my screen? There's 2 lines, and then there's the lighter silver one that's a little bit harder to see, but it's there. You want those lined up like that. That's how you know your B tension is set right and that this plate is in the correct position. Then 35 Newton meters.
Check.
All of this is done with the through axle just snugged down back like 1 or 2 turns.
Yeah, we found out if it's too tight, it doesn't work right.
Yeah.
How tight are through axles supposed to be anyways? I have one through axle.
It says right on the end.
And I broke the...
It was like 10 Newton meters or something like that. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, if you're Brian, it's about 30 and you snap the head off of them.
This is 9 to 13 and a half. That's a 10, 12 millimeter, 20, 15 through.
Notice had this cool tool that held the little bits in it.
Oh. That was different. That was...
That's a wolf tooth thing. And was it in a wolf tooth axle?
Yeah.
Was it a wolf tooth axle?
Yeah. He said you could probably warranty it.
Let me see
Where's
that.
the
That's
axle
cool.
you broke?
In the bike.
Where's the bike?
Upstairs.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
This thing's cool. That's nice.
Yeah, the little...
Alright, so 8 to 11 on a Salsa deadbolt.
It was nice.
First of all, I think you're missing pieces of that, which is why it broke. So
missing pieces.
Yeah, the axle part of it?
Well, no.
That's in the bike.
The head of the axle
You mean easy out. They have an easy out version of that?
Motherfuckers. Alright, so anyways...
Oh wait, that's the wrong. Camera 2.
Camera 2.
Yeah, little bitties go in there.
Yeah.
You gotta take it out of the little setup mode.
So once it's been tensioned, you just click it and it pops out.
Dimitri said, "I hate when you have a range for the part. Like, why don't you just give us one number? How hard is that?"
Okay.
Why,
9.5.
He's not making. It's not you. He's talking about the manufacturers.
Probably because I know you guys really aren't buying good tools.
Yeah,
so
we're doing.
Yeah, it's just going to be the shittiest
It's like quick release.
Amazon torque wrench that you can find. And if you set it in the middle of that range, you may or may not be still in that range.
I mean,
fair enough.
How much does it really matter?
It just depends. The amount it matters is directly proportional to how much it's going to cost to replace that part when you fuck it up.
I think it mostly matters to how gnarly the stuff you're riding is, how fast, and how steep the gradient is.
The amount that torque spec matters is directly related to how much it's going to cost you to replace that part when you fuck it up.
Yeah. Well,
how much you care is directly related to that.
Yeah.
The torque spec itself.
So if we're talking SRAM, you better get that torque spec right because this shit is outrageous.
I mean, it's good quality.
Voltu shit's more expensive.
So now you see, there's a robot doing all the shifting.
The word snug comes to mind. That's a great comment.
And you've all seen the videos. Are you ready? Look at that. It's still good.
Grab that soft blow mallet over there.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
Can we do it while we're pedaling?
Oh, 100%. This is really... How long has this been down here?
It came out of the cage, didn't
The
it?
soft blow one, the blue one.
Oh.
The one with like Play-Doh.
I thought soft blow, that's what we call your mom.
Wow.
Maybe you do.
Well, alright. Well, you've all seen it. Voila, it just goes right back to where it was. It's in gear 11. Goes right back to 11. It's unfazed.
That's pretty amazing if you think about how all of your bikes basically need their derailleur hangers line and you can smash it with a hammer and while you're pedaling it and it goes back to the right gear.
Yeah.
Something else that we were talking about, somebody was talking about.
This is a used drivetrain that's over a year old. It's been ridden by people that do not give a shit how much it costs.
We definitely gave this to the interns.
They didn't pay for it. I mean, it's XO, second from the absolute top of the line. And people were just beating the shit out of it like a rented mule.
Yeah, we got this done in the winter, and I rode it at Ray's for a couple months, and basically was just like 50-50ing all the skinnies. So basically, like running pieces of wood between that and no problems.
It's on the fourth set of rotors, but the derailleur.
I only did the right side.
Yeah. I have to say, if you're gonna make something that ugly, it better be really functional.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
So, like, the thing is unforgivable, and
that can't be super record. You know.
I love SRAM, but the thing that I find truly unforgivable is this fucking spaceship shit right here.
Yeah, it's for lightness. They do not
No, like, it's real, it's just got this, like, stick cutter, thin, and then thick, and then the...
Bro, it's the future.
Dude, if you keep handling like that, people are gonna report us.
Can you open a bottle in there?
Explicit content.
Maybe from the back, is this better?
Yeah, no, it's worse.
Can you open a bottle?
It's so big. Just make it better looking, this part. This, I can let it slide because it works really good.
Yeah.
But this, like my
Cranks
regular...
in general don't need to be ugly. Like,
my regular,
still
like...
looks good on, like, vintage bikes. Why did they have to make them, like, all...
Well, I have a set of, like, Truvative, which is owned by SRAM, Stylo carbon cranks. It's just like a smooth, round bar of carbon.
Yeah.
You're on thin ice here with this.
Smooth, hard bar with a couple of ribs.
Uh-huh. So
Oh yeah, and the chain. When you set the length on the chain,
So anyways.
we're not gonna break. We're not gonna break the chain on this because these you can't reuse the quick links and they're like not super cheap.
We don't know that.
They say you can't reuse the quick links. Arguably,
Flat top change, you mean?
this is transmission flat top, not
Yeah.
just.
Oh, they're okay.
What
You said
is
that
what
earlier,
is
and I
different
forgot.
about this chain than every other chain they have?
This one has a T on the box, and it's $40 more.
I understand.
So the rollers are supposed to be big, like the flat top road ones.
We should try putting a regular chain on this.
Yeah, so I actually just worked on a bike that had a flat top, non-transmission road chain on it. 10-speed rival bike. For 5,000 miles, it had a flat top 12-speed access chain on it. It was a 10-speed bike. And the guy said it ran fine. It ruined the entire drivetrain. Cranks.
Because it was way stronger than everything else in it?
Well, no, the rollers on flat tops are bigger.
Oh, so they didn't really fit in everything, right?
Yeah, so I think his shit was worn out when he started. So, like, pro tip, if you want to squeeze a bunch of extra miles out of some worn out 11 or 10 speed shit, just throw a flat top chain on there and just keep going.
That's crazy.
Because he claims he put about 5,000 miles on it with that chain. I don't know. Otis saw the bike. It did work. Ish. And it worked better than most people's bikes when they bring them in, to be honest. But yeah, everything was ruined. Like, super, super ruined. Yeah, so the rollers are a little bit bigger in the flat top chains.
Can you run a regular chain on this?
We've not tried it, but I don't think so. I have seen a regular chain on a flat
Challenge
top.
accepted.
Yeah.
I have seen a regular 12
Yeah,
speed.
right behind you.
Yeah, we have
Just
an old
grab one of
chain.
those.
Do you have any chainsaw chains?
But we're talking 325.
I mean, that would be like, don't you think that'd be like a sweet bike packing hack if you just put a chainsaw chain on your bike and then you could
What
also
about the jockey wheel?
What about it?
Want to see if it'll run different jockey wheels? Let's see if it can run some French Hooray.
Okay. do you think we get this to work with the cambie shifter?
I think we put bar ends on it.
Oh yeah.
Dude, we need some of those whiskey super sweet
Yeah.
carbone.
Mm-hmm.
Those, Otis had those on the gunner when I first borrowed it, and that's why I wanted that bike. I'm like, these whiskey sweet bars.
Do you
are
have
so
on there
cool.
right now?
I went with granola bars because those, once he told me what everything he had on that bike cost, I did like a approximation of that bill.
Yeah, I get it. I fell victim to the carbon whiskey riser bars. Those things are sweet.
I have carbon whiskey riser bars on my fat bike.
They're
too.
really cool.
They're so good.
I like that the sweet ones came back.
And they
all
come
the
massive.
way.
The
So
mine
you
are like
get-
820 or 830. They're the biggest ones they make.
They're huge.
They're huge.
What
I
are the
love
ones?
it.
What are the ones you have cost?
Those 250, something like that.
That's not that bad.
For a set of handlebars.
I
Dude,
can't
mean,
say.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot
So-
of money.
The
Then again,
problem
I'm
is
running
that
titanium
it just
bars
all
on my
becomes
Raleigh,
monopoly
way too
money.
expensive, so.
When you 15, 14 years of getting paid to work on bicycles. If you keep track, you'll be divorced. So I don't keep track.
Well, I definitely had.
My biggest fear is when I die, my
Aaron
wife
spends more money on bikes than I do.
my
I don't
wife
worry
sells
about
my bikes for what she thinks I paid for them.
Yeah.
She'll find out they're worthless, and that's too bad.
Yeah, well, they are
Yeah,
worthless.
I'm
That's
trying
the
to sell
thing.
that road bike. It's been like 5 years now.
Hey, fucking gravel ruined everything.
Yeah.
First of all, I sold that bike for $1,000. To be fair, that's what I had into it 7 fucking years ago.
Oh, that salsa?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what?
That bike would pop up on Facebook Marketplace for me like every 3 weeks.
Obviously, you were super interested in it. I wasn't in a rush to sell it, so it sold for.
Oh, now you're getting me with my algorithm joke, huh?
Hey,
Did you want to buy that bike?
No.
Oh.
What the
Obviously-
fuck would I do with that piece of shit.
obviously he
Wasn't
did.
that a road bike at like 20 AC tires on or some shit?
32.
Wow, maxed out.
Grav, bud. It was sold as an all-road bike.
All road. 32s, no fenders.
It wasn't a bad bike at all. It's just like
Was it aluminum?
Steel.
Oh,
Carbon. Crayon fork.
Crayon.
Crayon fork.
Wiki?
have you ever felt the original Raleigh fork? Grab that thing and feel what a boat anchor is.
Oh, you can't tell the guest to grab that thing.
Oh, wow, I like this. That is a lot. Then what did you put on there?
Nothing. There's nothing on there.
Just air?
Yeah.
Air
No, Otis
fork?
got a carbon fork that Otis got was what recalled or
It-
something.
It's just a takeoff fork off of another bike.
Yeah.
It's just a takeoff fork.
Repurposed.
It looked way cooler with that fork though. People thought the bike was vintage. People would ride up next to me like, "How'd you get disc brakes on that thing?"
Oh, my local frame builder just put these tabs on it for me.
Perfect.
Yeah, I just took it to my local frame builder and they threw these disc tabs on there for me.
People do that. I think Racer, who's been commenting in here, is converted, done the disc conversion.
Yeah, I mean, if you put a brace in on the back.
When I was building Trixie Fixie bikes when I lived in Kent, me and one of my buddies put disc tabs on old school mountain bikes to run fixed gear with disc brakes. Terrible idea. Nothing broke, but it didn't ride that cool.
Did you ever see any of those like sweet, like there was nice versions of them, and now there's a bunch of like eBay Chinese versions of them where it's like a aluminum bar that bolts to the V-brake boss up here, and then it goes down to the dropout, and then there's IS tabs. You know what I'm talking about? Have you ever seen those?
I had a Trek 4300 that I bought a plate for, and the plate went around the dropout, and you could mount disc brakes on it with a plate that clamped around the dropout. I did it.
Yeah, it was kind of like that, but it had this arm that went all the way up to the V-brake.
I never had one of those.
Yeah. I never personally had one, but I worked on a bike. My first like bike shop job ever at Performance down in Green. That's, I think, like one of the first places I like repeatedly ran into you.
I was coming down there to buy $15 tires. Forte.
Yeah. Forte.
Is that the one that Otis bought out? Like they closed and he
No, that was Tritech in
Columbus. Yeah. He used to work there when he was younger, I think.
When I think
a bunch of weird
his wife was in
that truck.
I think his wife was in school at Ohio State. That's when they lived in.
Yeah. I got rim brake tubeless Mavic mountain bike wheels. Who has that yellow Cannondale now?
Aaron.
Yeah, so that bike was built up with those super leger whatever things on these Mavic.
The cheeseburger tires?
No, there's the smoothies 2.3.
Yeah, Rene Ayers.
Yeah.
Formerly Compass. Yeah, Randy Ayers. Of the trailer park, the cheeseburger guy.
I know what you're talking about.
It used to be this sweet Instagram account where he just put a Rene Ayers hat on Randy from Trailer Park Boys and put in a bunch of pictures, but he was sick of getting a bunch of hate, so he deleted the account. But it was bar none the best thing that ever happened to social media and cycling together was the Randy Ayers.
Some people think
it was that hat that's on Tim's head right fucking now.
Ben has it. Ben wears the Randy Ayers.
Yeah. No, I'm saying that hat was the one that he used for the Photoshop, and then Ben has the legit Randy Ayers, like, meme
hat.
No, meme merch. The merch.
Got it.
Yeah, Erin's running that as her winter bike. She has that with studded tires now.
Just a little
cool bike.
Yeah.
Just a little rough.
top up.
Cool. So that was like an aluminum race frame with an aluminum fork. Ouchie.
Yeah, if it didn't have studded tires on it, that bike would be like really light.
It was really light.
Yeah. No, it's got like 8 pounds worth of tire on it.
Well, because it snows.
It's probably that Marin is that frame before we build it up. One of the lightest. That thing is so.
What is that? Titanium?
No,
dude, that is. So that fork he bought separate from the bike, believe it or not, both from Europe.
I found
international shipping.
The frame was. It's like the build now isn't light, but the frame.
So he got
was from Hungary.
Yeah. Where'd you get the fork? Turkey or
Italy.
Russia or Italy?
New old stock.
Yeah.
So you found it on eBay and went for it, or what?
Brand new. Well, he found the frame first. It had a suspension fork on it, right?
Yeah, just a beat up Hard Rock V2.
You're just gonna keep the audio going. You might want to abort.
We're good. I got it on.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, that frame is the tubing must be so thin. But then I found a fork, because it came with a beat up old RockShox. I found a fork.
It was like an Indy or a Judy with like the elastomer fork.
It's down here somewhere, but yeah.
But that thing came, when that fork came in, he brought it into the shop, I thought it was a titanium fork or something. That fork is so light.
That's the fork that was on it?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. But yeah, that bike, just the frame is so ridiculously light. I used it for bike packing. That thing is so noodly, like everything flexes. Like,
are those wheels heavy?
Yes.
They're heavy for being carbon wheels, but overall
they're heavy for wheels.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yes.
I mean, I think there's more aero than light, right?
Yeah.
The idea
They're mountain bike wheels.
No, they were supposed to just be like strong.
For 26 inch, yeah.
I mean,
Well, it was when like double wall wasn't super sorted.
what year are those from? 90 what?
96. Oh, the wheels?
Yeah,
Well,
93 or something.
Pudgy
They're from Pudgy. He knows.
Yeah. He gave them to me for my birthday, but the bike, Yeah, the frame is a 96. It's not titanium. It's a team because it's a team red.
Yeah, it's steel,
Yeah.
but it's super light steel.
Insane.
You like a really nice set of wheels on this bike.
This looks heavy. This thing right here.
Yeah, the happy stem.
That's
Because to
not
put
that-
drops on there, it was so. I ran it with a normal straight stem for a while.
way.
You were so because you know how these bikes
The
are.
head tubes are tiny on those.
Yeah.
That was the problem on that Cannondale for me is that it was already cut and that fork was cool to match, but the steer tube on it was so short.
Well, those old bikes, they put those super long stems and they're already long and low, and so to make them fit like that's why when everyone says like the '90s mountain bike conversion, I just don't think it's actually that good of an idea.
No,
They
it's
look cool in
not.
pictures.
Yeah, look, that looks cool. That looks insane.
And they
ridiculous,
want like a lot of money on Craigslist for them.
No, it's going.
Yeah.
I saw like Bridgestones was XO1s, whoever those were. Those are normal money again.
I think it's come back down.
No, but like 2 years ago, people
Yeah,
wanted like $500 or
insane.
$600 for a XL1
Frame set, frame fork.
that was like not good.
The
condition.
low end specialized just if they had a cool paint job. Like a Hard Rocks are going for a ton of money if they had a cool paint job. Like
Those are really cool. I was one of them. I wanted.
You
a
could
stump
buy those
jumper.
bikes for like
rock
$75.
upper.
Like
this is an actual team stump jumper.
That's cool.
The dude pulled all the decals off, but this is an '89 team, so it's on top of the line.
What
specialized
tube
model.
set was on that?
He peeled off all the stickers.
10 gauge.
Yeah.
Like
10 gauge.
like a Prestige. Prestige
Yeah, these
Mountain.
are cool. I had.
I think it was a Prestige
Oh, these
Mountain
bars are cool
specific.
too.
You switch to this can.
Oh, he got these as prototype.
Cannon.
Those are
For the-
prototype.
No, these pre-release.
This
You got
bike's
these pre-release, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Velo Orange cargo bars, the rack and the bars are all like a package deal. And you can change how it bolts on.
Yeah, it's
What did
sweet.
that do? Oh,
It's backwards. It's a little confusing.
yeah. I think I can zoom on that.
Well, just set it up to follow me, so I can just do this. And it
We'll
does
zoom in,
that.
we'll zoom in on your face and follow you.
Yeah, it's supposed
Yeah.
to.
If
I
it's
saw it
set
on the
up.
internet.
Good job.
So is that the 4?
Zoom back out. That's too much.
That's real close.
Yeah. Well, I forgot.
It's crowd shot right
I mean, are you looking for like just like a lower cut sort of deal, or what are we going for here?
Yeah, we're trying to make it hot.
Like
You gotta heat it up.
Like
this
just
is
like a-
cool. It's
like
got
a real
this
power
Dior
stance?
seat-post on it. That's
Yeah.
cool, man.
Yeah, I just went 8-speed like it would be because I was trying to keep it cheap.
Is this an XT crank?
Yeah.
That's sweet. So
Everything
it's
on
all
that.
XT.
Yeah, the only thing that
I don't think the brakes are XT, are they?
I think they are.
I don't know. No, I think the XTRs back then were the parallelogram ones, weren't
No,
they?
these are pretty. This is pretty parallelogram.
Oh, okay, those were cool.
Yeah, I didn't go with the. I was gonna do.
This might actually be pre-XTR.
I was about to set this up canty.
Yeah.
Because
And
I
then
think
was like,
XTR
oh,
Is that a
wait.
large? Or 21 or?
I don't know.
That bike is sweet.
I think XTR V-brakes were only.
Yeah, Velo Orange sent me these bars, and I'm like, I was about to build it up, and I'm like, oh, throw these on here. Even
Yeah.
so, yeah. Like wide sweeps, because back, you would have had these.
This thing is cool. I love those. That's why I think honestly,
But you need a riser bar on all these like vintage mountain bikes to make them.
you need a riser bar on every bike, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like to
That's
make
why,
them
because
even
they had a
rideable.
flat
'cause
version.
they
I'm
were
like, no, give me the riser
super
version. I'm
racy,
putting out
yeah.
an early
But
90s.
to make them even rideable, they were just so aggressive. Like you look at like old XC racing videos.
Why did
like,
mountain bikers why were they cantilevering themselves over the bars? How could that be good for going down
Because
hills?
they were all roadies, man. Everybody that could actually rode a bike rode road bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, all the bars were super narrow.
Yeah,
Which-
super narrow. Even
And
this
then-
is an 01, and the original bars are like.
Well, and then like people that were like good at bike handling were kids coming off of BMX bikes, and that's when
Yeah.
stuff started changing.
Mm-hmm.
Like bars started moving.
It is.
I
And
mean,
even
this is
BMX
the one you
bikes,
need
like
to
they
build
had
up,
super
Yanda.
tall seat posts.
Yanda was saying he could do a 90s mountain bike build. This is an Alpecin Stars. Do you know that brand?
Alpenstars.
Alpenstars.
Yeah. I
They
know
made-
them
they
from
made
motorcycle
frame?
stuff. I didn't know that.
Is
but
that
apparently
real?
It's
No,
real.
the clothing company came later. But their claim to fame was not this triangle frame. They had one where the triangle came up here and the rear.
Alpine Stars did?
Yeah.
Dude, all I know them from is like
Motorcycle
looking at
stuff.
moto stuff.
Yeah,
Both
that's
of him and I.
there's a weird history with this brand.
What is this thing?
I think I stuck something in there to put in.
That's
the guy
everybody
who gave me,
thought they were gonna reinvent the wheel on the
Dude,
seat
this
post.
thing is sweet.
That's a lugged carbon look.
Is this cool?
Bernardino. I haven't ridden it.
It's art. It's incredible to look at. I wouldn't ride it.
Stu gave me a Campy group set, so I started to put that on there, and then I traded a guy for these Mavic Tour de France wheels. So I'm like,
Dude, I would do something blasphemous. I would make that a brakeless fixed gear with like 30-inch bars.
that would be a cool build.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
You die.
You go to break in half.
The whole rear triangle just folds up.
Yeah, not designed to be used that way.
You're like, oh, let me throw a fat skid.
What's that?
Guy was asking what bike shop we're in.
Tim's bike shop.
Yeah. Everything is.
It's basically just the same frame
for
in different
sale.
colors.
Yeah.
It's all the same bike.
Yeah, just different versions of like, this is the cheapest piece of shit steel bike you could
Yeah,
have.
this one's yellow. This one's white.
Yeah.
Wait, where's the one where with the stamp steel dropouts that I don't know anything about? Where's that one?
This is that one. This is the one you picked me up on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Where's that?
But I ruined this bike
That's French.
just so everybody knows.
It's a Roger Riviere.
I completely destroyed the Roger Riviere's dropouts, putting it in the back of
I
Otis's
didn't want to
truck.
go home. That's what that was all about.
So I illegally kidnapped him and broke his bike.
Yeah.
Even though people have been paying me to take their bikes apart and put them back together for the last 14 years of my life.
That's how it works, man. Yeah, this one's cool too.
I put a ton of miles on that. Rode Ohio
It's
to Erie on it.
Actually a nice bike, that's why.
That's an 82. Yeah, that's. I know they brought this back, but this is the last year they actually used that logo.
Yeah. What frame is that? What model?
It's This is the.
Is it the 520?
No, 520 is a touring bike.
Oh, this is the Sportif. It's not
530. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have long chain stays. It's more of a road bike. It wasn't good for touring with the weight on the back. It was super squirrely.
The front end got all weird.
Yeah, I had to I couldn't ride with my hands off the bars. That's a Taiwanese Paramount or Japanese Paramount. Those were made by
Panasonic.
Yeah, Panasonic.
Yeah.
That guy had that in a estate sale, or not an estate sale, in his front yard in North Hill, filled up with all Shimano 600.
For sale or just?
Yeah,
Ooh.
I paid $40 for it.
I'd pay
$40.
Yeah,
I'd pay somebody to take that dent out of it. It'd be right.
it's down, but it's straight.
I wish I would have done it. This has to be like
You could
80
take
something
that
with
out.
the Unicrown fork.
These, I think this is
Like
I
late
looked it
80s
up.
or early 90s.
But yeah, it's actually this is like a when they stopped making them all like Waterford stopped
Mhm.
making them all. This is one of the like nice ones they were making, and is it actually Japanese? I can't remember. It might actually be Japanese. It might not be Taiwanese.
Not a huge vintage guy.
I think all there was a while that all like their
600. That's it.
all their lugged nice steel bikes that had the Columbus tubing on them were made in Japan by Panasonic for a
Yeah.
while.
That's what
I
I
don't
think
know who else
this
would
is.
have made them in Japan, because at that time
It was Panasonic.
Is it
right.
Kitagawa? Was the name of that company?
they were too small, I think. Though.
Okay.
But I'm saying somebody that could do production, it would have been like Panasonic Bridgestone.
It's tiny. I took the parts.
Was Fuji making their own frames back then?
Yeah,
Fuji
but
was
I don't think they would have been doing that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then
And they made them. They
Miata,
were still
Miata
spec.
was strictly in house.
And
Yeah,
these were
yeah.
still spec'd by these were still like spec'd by Schwinn and like
Yeah,
Waterford.
that's what I'm
factory.
saying,
They were
like-
just trying to get a cheaper build.
Yeah.
but I'm saying like
Yeah, that's
Panasonic did
All the custom ones are still made
Did
at
that
Waterford,
stuff.
and these were the Panasonics.
in Waterford, not at Waterford.
I bought it. It had Paramount.
Waterford was a separate bike company after Schwinn hoarded the name
Yes.
to Pacific
But
Cycle.
in the Schwinn Waterford facility in Waterford, Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In Waterford, Wisconsin, geographically. Not at
Pre-Waterford,
Waterford.
the
Same
company.
building. Same building.
Yeah. Different LLC.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Well,
matters.
Richard Schwinn bought. The
Well, yeah,
shop
now
from Schwinn.
now he's closed it and he's dead
Yeah.
to me.
Well, whatever.
My first road bike was a Schwinn Tempo. 1987, the year I was born. I thought it was so cool, dude. I love that bike. It was good.
Those the wheels on my trainer
Stop.
bike are off a Schwinn Tempo.
Really?
Step forward.
Huh?
Take like half a step back and then you step forward. You're eclipsing each other. There you go. I'm just
It's an honor to
producing.
be
I'm
eclipsed
just
by you.
producing. Camera one, guys. Camera one.
Yeah, a guy had like 5 road bikes in his front yard, and I was just like hitting a new road on the way downtown Akron, and the one said Paramount, and I'm like, I don't care what Paramount this is for $45.
Yeah.
You know, like.
I wish that worked out with the Yaris I tried to buy today. It did not.
Toyota Yaris?
Yeah, no, I want so bad.
To park in the back of your van? Because it'll fit.
No, I'm gonna whip it, man. 36 miles a gallon.
We're still on the internet.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Conversation.
Oh yeah, of course. Why would we not be?
Yeah. Why would we deprive people of this conversation?
I mean, we've got the corner bar. We sold like 4 sets of bars thanks to you putting that video out.
Yeah, that video. It was one of the first with the corner bars. It's at like 40,000 views.
Yeah, people like ask, like, oh, I saw these on that Tim Guys thing. I'm like, you sure did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It is the best. I still recommend them. We still talk. It's still the best way to get a drop bar vibe without buying drop bar controls. Well, not still. I mean, it was the original customer.
Who makes those?
Surly.
So they're 87 pounds.
Dude, I can't.
They're so heavy.
Everything they make is so heavy.
But on like a bike
Like I have a set of Malocos on my long haul trucker. And I'm considering spending like $400 to get them replicated in titanium because I love the bars, but they're so fucking heavy.
Well, those Sunrise, is that what they were? Dude, those bars.
880 grams.
So much. It's half a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, why do they? Because like Bella Orange doesn't do it because even the
Oh no, those bars are super heavy.
they're heavy, but they're also mountain bike rated.
They also have a rack on them.
Yeah,
so
they have a rack, so you're
that
supposed to
makes
put
sense.
weight on them.
Well, they have.
But they are not as heavy as these are.
I don't. Is that like a surly
Strip them
requirement?
down.
Is that a surly requirement to make it heavy? Sturdy,
I
strong.
mean, I guess it's in the name.
Yeah.
Right. That's sturdy.
Yeah, surly motherfucker.
I don't think that's that. Surly just means like an attitude.
Like a surly dude is a big dude.
No, that's burly.
Burly.
Ah.
And that's the trailer that you pull your kids in.
Yeah,
Different.
I have one. It's got fat tires.
On it?
Yeah.
Did you put those on?
No, they do a fat tire kit. I mean, I added it, but they make it.
Like 3-inch?
Yeah.
For $30.
It's way more than $30. It's
It would be.
unreasonably priced.
We should make a conversion for that.
I have
We
a
should probably do
trailer.
a conversion.
I have a
yeah.
trailer and I took my cat downtown Congo Falls today.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm really glad this is on the internet right now. This
I
is
made
getting-
I have a video cut. This is going.
Wow.
Cat packing. man.
Immortalized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You're here Friday, right?
Yeah.
When are you leaving?
Yeah.
Saturday.
Speaking of cats,
He's leaving
that needs-
Saturday.
Well,
answer your
that's why I'm
question.
asking if you're gonna be around Friday.
I'll be here Friday.
He's leaving Saturday to answer
I'll
your
be
question.
over Friday.
All right.
I'll figure out something to do. It's supposed to rain, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's been supposed to rain. It was supposed to rain
It
today.
was supposed to
and
rain
it's sunny
today,
as
and
hell.
yeah. Oh shit.
It did, yeah. I think it rained for a few minutes, but
I was supposed to photograph something in cloudy weather, and then I couldn't do it.
Wasn't it cloudy today?
It was early, but not when I needed to do it.
Mm. So you weren't
You
prepared.
fellas have a good night. don't forget to turn that off eventually.
We'll see.
I've set more than one record.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Let him cook. Let him cook. Join us tomorrow for Kegs and Eggs.
No, we can wrap it up. I know you probably want to get home. You got to work.
I do have to work.
No, I don't have to go to work tomorrow.
You
Not
go
till
in like
noon.
you go in at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I have kids.
That's your mistake.
It is.
I like them. Like, what else would I put in the trailer? Some weirdo that puts a cat in his trailer?
Oh, I know. It's weird as fuck. I saw two of my friends sitting outside at that, what is that, like, kind of fancy restaurant in the Falls with an out-facing bar. It's like,
Cashmere cricket. That.
not Cashmere Cricket. That's not a kind
Twig
of
and
fancy
Fork or whatever the
Oh,
fuck
sorry.
that place is.
What?
It's Twig and Fork or something. Sprig and whatever.
It's not Butcher and Sprout.
Ah, see, but you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
Whatever.
That place isn't fancy either.
I saw two friends and I circled back and they're like, "What's in the trailer?" I'm like, "Oh, my cat."
Your cat like that?
Oh, loves it.
Really?
He's just standing up there in the front, like looking, like, "What's going on?"
My kids love the trailer.
My cat would not.
I mean, they love it.
No, I've never had a. I put him on the leash and walk him, and I never had a cat that would deal with that. And then, like, when I'm like, this guy will walk around on the leash. Maybe he'll go in the trailer. And he goes right in there, and I zip, and he's just looking at me. I'm like, yeah, let's try it.
My dogs
Nice,
used to ride in a
nice.
trailer, but they won't do it anymore. Actually, the trailer Micah has.
Oh yeah,
That was my dog trailer.
That's what someone gave it to me. They had it as a dog trailer, never used it. It's so funny. And then I take him to the park and he walks around the parks. Like he doesn't care. Like
You take him to the dog park?
No.
You should. That'd be good.
Oh, that'll go over like a fart in church.
Cats are supposed to be territorial. They're like stick to home, and this guy does not care at all.
Did he come here? He just found him outside or what?
Yeah, fun. Yeah, he was. My tenant upstairs started feeding him, and then I started feeding him, and then like it started getting cold out. And I was like, I'm just picturing him out there. Then I'm googling how cold can cats get.
Ah, jeez.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and then you let him in.
And then I'm like, I'll take him to a shelter. I only let him in the basement, and I have a little bed back there in the corner. So the first couple of nights I slept down here with them, and then, yeah, you know.
Is your room down here?
No.
Okay.
I have a building in the back of the studio.
Nice.
I have a little, like, it's full of shit right now, but like a little guest bed back here.
Sweet.
So, yeah. Some people sleep there, some people won't. So this is an old basement. You know.
Depends on your condition when you get here.
Yeah. Hugh, you know, Ryan Hugh, you just shoehorn him right in.
Low expectation.
Oh yeah, see? That's my puppy dog in a trailer back in the day when he would go in a trailer.
You got the fat tires on it?
No, this is a regular like cargo trailer. Behind a Brompton, nonetheless. Yeah, that was my wife and I put 2 Bromptons and all of our shit in a tiny little hatchback.
Nice. Is it a Yaris?
Elantra Touring. It was for touring. Touring.
I've driven one of those. Not a lot of ass on that.
What are you talking about? 1,500-pound cargo capacity.
What motor's in it?
2.0, 2-liter Hyundai.
NA?
Yeah, hers was a 5-speed.
Oh, yeah, I drove one of those too. Slow.
Elantra GT or Elantra Touring?
Touring. The wagon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good car.
Okay. Maybe you're right.
She got 38 miles a gallon in it.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
5-speed, very low maintenance. I mean, it was a good car. I don't know how else to describe it. Cheap.
Worth investing in now? That was a long time ago.
Maybe a little old. Yeah, the GT
It was like 2010?
Yeah, hers was 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think we should wrap this up.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for having me,
this
Tim.
one? Bye, guys.
Thanks for having us, Tim.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. For
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is not
Fitzwater photo.